Hello and welcome to the Computer Game Show. My name is Sean Bell. I'm slightly ill, but it's all right. I've had an overdose of Lemsip. We're going to be fine.
An overdose? I'm concerned now.
No, not really, but it'll be a short episode. It's fine. It'll be an hour long, in and out, done. I'm joined by Matt Murray.
Hello.
And don't ask him about Saturdays, James Farley.
Yeah. Hi. Yeah.
No, I'm gonna have to say I fully agree with James.
Yeah,
I know what he means. This is not subtle reference to the latest episode of Star Calls that's just gone up, where James admits that he just hates weekends.
I do. I can't stand them. It's the worst part of the week. And the reason for that is that, especially now my kids, I've got like a 9-year-old and a 6-year-old, you spend most of the time like ferrying them around places, to different stuff. Or it's just obligations. The whole weekend is just... And the worst thing about it is you're because in your mind, you're always thinking, it's the weekend, it's great, I can do what I want. You can't. You absolutely can't do what you want at all once you're kids. And then also you think, okay, I'll be able to play stuff in the evening. You're too knackered by the evening, to do that. And it's just the worst. It's just, I prefer... Yeah, Monday's a good day.
Yeah. It doesn't matter if it's like a Tuesday or Saturday. I'm still basically going to play after like 10 o'clock at night, and then and that's if I'm not absolutely dead from the weekend doing weekend parent things.
Surely weekend parent obligations are more enjoyable than work.
You see, you say, Sean, come back to me in 5 years' time. And see if you still have the same opinion, because it's in the beginning it's all right in the beginning, but then it does. I mean, going to like children's birth. Exactly.
Say if you're playing the drinking game,
going to children's birthday parties like all the time is.
Oh yeah, no, I'm dreading that.
Oh yeah,
absolutely dreading that.
We made a mistake. We're like, Elodie started school now, so what we do is we'll invite all the kids to her like birthday party, because that feels like a thing you probably do, so everyone can whoever makes friends. We did that, on her birthday. Obviously, she got like an extra 16 presents. Amazing. She had a lovely time. Wow. But then what you forget about
problems there.
What you forget about is then you basically have 15 invitations to 15 other weekends. Yeah. It's like a Saturday or Sunday, so you've got to buy 15 other presents.
There's only 52 in a year.
Yeah, exactly. You've lost 15. It's like presents, weekends of. I mean, we're not doing it in year 2. We're just not. It's just.
No. See, it's not so bad now with Rachel, because you can just like leave her at the party. It's fine.
I was going to say, all my memories of kids' parties are my mum or dad, well, mum, let's face it, in those days, always mum, dropping me off, and then. That's it. It's just fucked off. Yeah, you can do that. See you in a few hours.
You can do that later, but in the beginning, I've said it again. But you can't. Like when they're really young, you can't do that. Like you have to hang around, which means you then have to make conversation with people.
Is that just because they might be an arsehole?
Well, yeah.
And you just can't leave it with other random parents, can you?
Yeah,
so then you have to make small talk.
These people are. So it's just, you have to stick around, but then you have to make small talk the whole time, and it's just imagine doing that for like 3 hours out of your Saturday. It's just this is why I'll give you a tip, Sean. When your son goes to school, don't make eye contact with anyone. Like you just go in there, get the kid in, and then get out. It's the thing. Otherwise, it's a nightmare. Yeah. No eye contact.
That still sort of happens. So I do like to pick up on like a Thursday after, I leave work early and pick her up from school, and I basically go there with my AirPods in and pick up Elodie and leave. But
that's the best way.
There's been times I've gone there and there've been no headphones in, but people still don't talk to me, and I feel like, is it because I had headphones in previously, or is it just because I'm like a dad and all the rest are mums? I don't know. I feel a bit weird.
There is that as well. Yeah, it's
I mean, there is a primary school. Literally, it's like 30 metres up the road, and it's probably.
You haven't been hanging around that primary school, have you, Sean?
No. But yeah, so I'm just wondering, does he need me to walk him there and back and probably manage by himself? It's only up the road.
See, that's the other thing. What I do now is because I drop them off in the morning, and I used to have to take each of them to their class as well, and I don't do that anymore. Now I just leave them at the gate, and then they'll go in together. But then because Asher's obviously a lot younger, I used to say to Rachel, "Look, you've got to take him in. Just take him to his classroom." So I was doing this, and then I found out from another parent she wasn't doing that. She was going, as soon as she got in through the gate and I was out of sight, she was binning him straight off and just going off with her friends and just leaving him to find his own way. It's just,
amazing.
I
That kind of
thought you were
thing.
going to say she's smoking Benson and Hedges. Like, Dad's fucked off. Here we go. Have a bang on that.
Terrible.
Anyway,
right, yeah. Welcome to the computer game show. So obviously this is we're still sort of doing E3 stuff because obviously this is our post E3 episode.
What we're going to do is we can go through all the conferences again in case you missed it last week.
We'll just go through the whole thing.
Yeah, why not?
Obviously, we'll go through like some of our thoughts, and obviously I've now seen most of the conferences, and I'm aware of, I think, all of the times I was deceived, but who knows? And obviously, like, people have sent us feedback and stuff. So, I mean, for whatever reason, so I watched all the conferences, and
you watched every one of them?
Like, not every one of them. So I skipped. What did I not do? So I didn't watch the what they call Bethesda one because I saw the supercut of people
saw the highlights.
Screaming, whooping. Yeah, fucking hell.
But did you see the trailers or the bits for the two new IP, like the Ghosts?
No, I didn't.
Oh fuck! Those are two of my highlights actually from E3 in general.
Really?
Okay. I'll...
Again, I'm excited about new exciting games. So yeah. Okay.
But it's because the other week when you were talking about those, and there was there's the one with the two assassins. And you were saying, and I didn't have anything to say about that. I realised that the reason for that is because with the Bethesda one, you'd already had like wall to wall shooting games, pretty much. Yeah. And by the time it got to that one, I was just kind of like, oh, it's another shooting game. I didn't really care by that point.
Yeah, but it's Arcane, so there's like a little bit more about it, I think.
I'm sure it'd be good. It's just that by that stage, I was just like, oh, I'm a bit done with this now. With this conference, it's awful.
No, fair dues.
Okay, so you didn't see Bethesda. You watched the supercut of the whooping. Thoughts?
Yeah, the whooping was absolutely insane. Like previous years, people have complained about it, and I've always been sort of on the fence. Like, I don't know, like it is a bit embarrassing, but also I can't blame people for being excited. Like, whatever. Like the whole event's sort of ridiculous. So what? What?
I think previously, obviously, was this like the second or third year that the public have been allowed in? I think in previous years,
they're still not in they're still not allowed in the conference.
Hang on. Right? You think that's not the public, is it? That's like employees that are like.
No. I think that is the public. I mean, we've had whooping for years. Look at any like Apple conference, and obviously their staff whoop and try and get the crowd pumped up. But I think now this is like it's gone to another level. I don't think this is just like. I think if a staff member was doing all that whooping for every time someone said there's an update, I think they're like, can you see me in my office on Monday morning? You basically taking a piss at me. So I really think this is like now it's getting like much worse over the last 2 years. It must be the public saying, "I want to." Yeah, it's like if you're a gig and there's like a moment of silence and you shout something because people are going to hear it. Or I just thought it's like people trying to push their luck and I don't know. Trying to make a name for themselves. Oh, if you listen to 1 hour and 2 minutes, that was me that shouted shit.
I mean, it was definitely.
So broadly speaking, it was much worse than it has been previously, and I did find it like really quite excruciating. And as you were saying last week, the whole Keanu Reeves bit, like because that happened, it was like everyone was trying to recreate that and get their own Keanu Reeves moment. Like,
even though that fully deserved the craziness.
Oh yeah. And I can't believe that bit was real, by the way.
Neither could we, Sean. Neither could we.
Yeah, I mean, for whatever reason, I've made most of my notes on the Ubisoft conference. Don't know why. Like Microsoft was great. Really enjoyed it. So obviously they didn't buy From Software. No. I was gutted that George R.R. Martin didn't come out on stage.
Yeah,
I mean, I was like, that would be quite unusual for him. But I just, it was Sean, the image was too funny.
Why? Okay, but we didn't get much reaction from you on that, or anything.
We didn't get much. I mean, during the show where like we did the George R.R. Martin From Soft thing, and we'll come back to that in a minute. Yeah. Did that, and then we're like, oh, he didn't say much. Like, what does that mean? Did did he buy it or not? And then we're like, okay, well, let's keep going. And then like James and I were like messaging each other during the show. He's like, oh, he's not saying much at all. Like, I don't know what's happened. What have we done wrong? And we're like, oh no. Like, and then at the end we're like, do you know what it is? Oh, we have fucked it so bad. Like I can't believe we've done this to the show. I'm sorry, James. I should have done the lie better. I should have done more crazy stuff.
No, do you know what it was? I was messaging Dave about it. I was saying it's on me as well because I was just so. Like, I should have just allowed myself to be more naive and just be like, do you know what? I'm never going to spot the lies. I should just take everything at face value. But I wasn't allowing myself to do that.
Oh, right.
I was like, everything you said. And because there was, like, so much genuine, like, ridiculous shit this year, it was like, it's just like every other thing. I was like, nah, I don't know. I'm not going to let myself get excited about that because I don't think that's real.
Like, so you were worried about getting caught out? Was the thing, like throughout,
and basically,
But so you thought everything potentially was a lie, so you didn't want to look stupid.
Basically, yeah. Which is, I now in hindsight realise is unfair on you guys, and it doesn't make for as entertaining a show. So I wish I'd been a bit more naive.
I was like devastated, like I fucked it. Like the listeners are being excited for this. We've had like a really great build up. And like we had this live planned. Again, more on that in a minute. But then, like, actually, E3 itself had loads of crazy stuff, like Keanu Reeves, like Too Human got on Xbox backwards compatible, a new 3D Zelda. It's like, okay, actually, we don't need to do anything else really, and like Lego Forza, there's so much crazy stuff. Like, well, Sean isn't going to believe this. Like, I'm not sure if you like gone back and like looked at maybe some of our responses on Twitter, but almost every conference there's like someone saying, "Sean won't believe that. Sean won't believe that." So
There's those people saying like, you don't have to lie about it.
Yeah. Like, so like, this is perfect. But then when you had no response, I was like, oh no, I've ruined it.
It was almost because there was so much of it that it was like the actual lies almost didn't even stick out that much because I was just like, this is just constant.
Yeah. And that's what we were hoping as well. We're like, well, hang on. We don't have to do loads. We'll just do one. And then the rest, it's going to seem like we're lying about Too Human. It's going to seem like we're lying about, well, Keanu, I guess maybe we're like so impassioned talking about it. Maybe that seems a bit more real. But like it was a great conference for that. But we're like, oh no. Like, but then, so you just didn't want to look stupid and caught out, I guess. So you were
basically, I was just being really above. Yeah, I was just being really cynical about everything. I was like, oh, it's probably going to turn out to be bullshit. So I should... but yeah. I don't think it's on you. I think that is as much my fault for refusing to just believe you about anything.
It's all good. It was a crazy year, but yeah.
If we think about that though, like after you've seen all this stuff, what was the biggest surprise that you thought was a lie that turned out it wasn't?
So obviously the Fantasy Star Online 2 stuff.
Oh yeah, that as well.
So obviously, so that turned out to be true, and it is US only, for fuck's sake.
Mental, isn't it? It's,
I mean, like, there'll be ways around it, but then there's been ways around playing the Japanese version in English for some time as well. So
it can't be like too far away. Like, they're not having to translate the language. Surely it will be coming.
If the translation's done, then I don't know.
It'll be coming. But yeah,
but
we thought, okay, we had that plan of basically lying about a truth anyway, and we're like, okay, for that one, we'll have to see what gets announced. And then we was like, we was going to do it around Destiny thing, because it was going free to play, but then you obviously saw that thing, right, and then we're like, actually, maybe that isn't that hard to believe, given where it's going. But then when PSO came on, was like, well, this is the one. This is perfect to like double bluff to say we lied. Yeah.
The other one, I would see, if you hadn't have seen that Destiny thing, I was going to, like how Stadia's got like Destiny as like the package. I was going to tell you it was Anthem. You see, and see what the reaction would be, but it was too late. It was.
I would have. I might have believed that because I don't think the Destiny thing didn't mention Stadia. That was the day after, wasn't it? Or was it?
It was the day after. No, the same day.
It was the same day.
It was the same day. But the Destiny Vidoc.
The Destiny as part of Stadia. You didn't see that bit, yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. Just must not have sunk in. But it was very like entertaining watching everything. So Ubisoft. So the Watch Dogs 3 stuff.
Yeah, what did you think to that?
So obviously that demo stroke trailer was amazing, but I'm very cynical about how it'll actually play like long term. Like it seemed, because it all seemed like, there's like shitloads of dialogue and everything's just reacting brilliantly and everything. That's not gonna happen by and large. Like if they're actually saying like, oh yeah, you can recruit and control anyone, then there's just going to be like set like character archetypes, aren't there? And it's just going to be like, do you know what I mean? And, and like after a while, you'll see repeats and stuff. Yeah, I'm still really excited. I just. Yeah, like that demo was a bit like, it's not really going to be always that good, is it?
From like the hands-on of Legion is that people say it's really great fun, but actually I say overall graphically, like in terms of like facial animation, it's a bit below what you expect, I guess. Unlike say, we can make Kratos look amazing. Or the few characters in God of War, because there's not loads of characters, save say Spider-Man, but because they're like animating every single person could be like front and center in a cutscene. I don't think they can afford to make everyone look incredible. So from what the impressions I was reading and hearing, it's like generally like the quality of those is a little bit lower than what you'd expect. But I'm still very excited for that game.
Yeah, it was like a big fan of Clint Hocking, and I'm glad he's back at Ubisoft after. I don't know, whatever he was doing at Amazon.
Yeah.
No one seems to know. But it was really weird, like, like just because he was banging on about London and the UK and stuff, and I was a bit like, I know what it's like in the UK, because I actually live here, mate. Like, do you know what I mean? It was like, I don't know, just seemed strange, like a sort of an outsider. Yeah. Like, I'm going to make a game about your country and what I think of it.
And they were basically painting it as like, it was like a dystopian future. It's like, wow, it's slightly near future, but it is still... Yeah, I mean, maybe it will be dystopian. Who knows?
Yeah, but I just hope it does. Because they sort of threw around the post-Brexit thing quite a bit.
Yeah,
I just hope they do engage with that if they're going to use that as part of marketing.
Sure, they're not going to do that. I mean, this is Ubisoft. I mean, we've got a news story about that, which is connected with that as well. It's like Ubisoft don't do that. I mean, they come up with these ideas and they use these sort of real world or potentially real world sort of concepts and everything, and then run away from them. It's really depressing. The way they do that.
It's the pattern they've seemed to have established, isn't it? What else? Oh yeah, so Ghost Recon Breakpoint. This was weird because, like, I know, like we've spoken before about sort of games weird sort of fetishization of like military shit. And it what like Matt, you were saying like it seemed like even more prevalent this year than it has previously.
Yeah.
And so that whole sort of trailer they showed at the start with what's his name, the Punisher, talking to all those troops. I was just sitting there like, are these the goodies or the baddies?
Yeah, well, I got that through the whole thing. Tell. The whole thing was like that. It's like who are we supposed to be rooting for anyone here? Or not? It's
like,
just
it was like, well, they seem like dickheads, but then it's just the sort of the general shit that you see in a lot of sort of military style games where he's just banging on about we're talking about the hunger. It's like and you're gonna have to fight people who used to be your mates, but they're part of the machine. I mean, and it was like, well, this could go either way. And then so it was more or less confirmed that they're the bad guys, right? I think because then the Ghost Recon folks with their beards and that show up, and they're supposedly the goodies. But then Punisher Man came out with his dog, and that was cool. To be fair, I enjoyed that a lot.
The dog came out,
what else? Roller Champions. Like I didn't realise it really isn't a roller derby game at all, is it?
No.
It's totally its own thing, which I think I'm all right with. I don't know the rules of roller derby well enough, but a friend of the show, Chris Span, tells me that actually the rules are probably just a bit too weird to make a game out of it anyway. But it looked like a lot of fun. But yeah, you weren't kidding about the Rocket League stylings. Like, it's really not subtle at all.
I think it's definitely trying to take some of that, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. The only other note I've got is that Gods and Monsters, which looks cool. But the guy came out and he's like, I've been making Assassin's Creed all these years, and our imagination has been bound by the history books. And I was like, like the bit in Assassin's Creed 2 where you fight the Pope, which turns out he's an alien.
Just like real life.
But yeah, no, other than that, it was a pretty good conference.
What do you think about that trailer for that, was it Mystic Rogue, the new comedy show? That was on the Ubisoft show, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. I didn't really...
Are you racing out to go see that?
Yeah, I wasn't really like it'll be good because I like the people involved, but I wasn't like laughing at the trailer particularly.
No.
It was fine, I guess. So yeah, it was all right. I mean, what else? So the kind of funny one was really good.
Yeah.
Like I still don't really get on with their presentation style, shall I say?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, just how can you argue with just shitloads of really interesting and cool trailers for indie games?
There's
loads
of good stuff on that.
Yeah. So that was really good. Nintendo, fine. Really solid. Animal Crossing looks amazing, and yeah, holy shit, new Zelda, new 3D actual Zelda.
Yeah.
And yeah, as you say, very clearly doing a Majora's Mask with it. I would say, which would be interesting because, like, because a lot of Breath of the Wild was like, oh, this is a bit Soulsy, but there's daylight, and that's really welcome. So it'll be interesting to see it sort of go dark again and see. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, will people just be like, oh, well, this is actually just like a not as good Souls game?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because it won't necessarily have its own sort of unique tone. Or,
I don't know about that. I think they'll almost certainly nail it with that, because they usually do in terms of like establishing tone. I mean,
when do you two think that we might see that? It says it's in development. Like that was no surprise. We knew. There's always going to be the next game in the series in development. There's also the next Mario's in development. But, and people thought, it feels like a Majora's Mask style vibe. We know what Majora's Mask is about. Do you think we're like much sooner than a standard 3D Zelda?
I reckon it'll be holiday 2020 is what it's going to be. It'll be the end of next year. I mean, they're already working probably with stuff they've, from that they had with Breath of the Wild.
That's the point. Yeah, if they really are doing a Majora's Mask with it, if they're using most of the same assets and sort of repurposing them, then that'll save a lot of time.
It would also be a good spoiler for the new machines that are supposedly coming out at that time as well. If the new machines come out and like new machines generally don't have amazing like launch games and everything, and then everyone's like, I'm playing Zelda 2, to be honest.
I don't need a new Xbox because I'm playing
Yeah. No, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of all I have to say. I mean, obviously, so Microsoft actually launching Game Pass on PC. I've had a very good week off that.
Oh, brilliant. So you did a really £1 deal thing, did you?
Yeah, so I've just signed up for the first month because I know you're saying about the Game Pass Ultimate deal, but I don't think I need Live Gold.
No.
So I think I'm all right. I think I'll probably just sub to Game Pass on PC and be done with it, but I don't know. We'll see.
You want to start doing those Bing rewards, Sean?
I can't be arsed.
They stack up really quick.
Can't. I know, but
Yeah, somehow James has got more than me now. I don't quite know how it's happened. Although there's a really, really easy one this month, James. You get 1,000 points for 10 random achievements in July. So,
I mean, it does feel dirty doing it, but then also you're just thinking maybe I won't have to spend any money later, which is all right.
Yeah, it just takes like 2 minutes in the morning every morning, and it's like that's it. It's not even 2 minutes really.
Yeah, I guess.
So, speaking of
what feedback did we get?
Well, I don't know. So speaking of Microsoft, so obviously our big lie was the whole From Software thing.
Yeah,
and it felt like you clocked that straight away, really.
Well, so here's how paranoid I've been. So obviously I mentioned on the show that I'd heard rumours about it. Was that a plant?
Yes.
Or was that just...
Yes.
It was.
It was a plant. Constructed. So this whole lie, we've had another group for a while now. Well, yeah. I mean, basically, a lot of this was spoken about at Rezzed, actually.
That's what I'd heard.
Yeah, initial plans were formulated at Rezzed, and then basically a group set up. So it's like it was me, James, Dave, and Joe Scobles from IGN, and Sam White from who writes like the game stuff for GQ, and we're like, hey, like Sean trusts you two. Being Joe and Sam, well, what can we do? That's and we workshopped a fuckload of ideas. So it's like, well, like absolutely, they were going crazy, frankly. And I'm like, well, we can't do too many. It needs to be vaguely believable. And then, obviously we know what Xbox are trying to do, and they've got no foothold in Japan. And we also know, obviously, you love the FromSoft games, and you haven't got an Xbox. So we're like, well, what can we say that's actually going to try and make Sean flip, basically. And another one that got close but we scrapped it right at the end was actually Dreamcast games going on Virtual Console on Switch.
Okay.
So we're like, okay, interesting. And then obviously all like the George R. R. Martin stuff leaked anyway, like 2 or 3 weeks before E3. We're like, oh no.
Yeah, which. Well, I mean, I suppose in a way that sort of helped, right?
Yeah, it didn't, because then like there's rumors of it being a Game of Thrones game. We're like, what does this mean for the lie? And then actually there was like other rumors of like there's like a big old thread on Reset of like there's like a big rumor of Microsoft buying a studio, and we're like, oh no, what if this actually happens? It's gonna screw our lie. Or it's not someone else, or they do an announcement. We're like, oh, it's all sort of a bit touch and go. But then, in like a week or two before you went away, obviously, like, you know, we arranged a date, and then Joe and Sam. So did they message you separately in 2 separate groups? Like,
we've got a group with just the 3 of us.
Okay,
which was perfect because that is generally like. You know, if any of us like hear things,
that's where the hot goss
usually
goes
where
down.
we post it first. Yeah. So I'm scanning. I'm going back through the WhatsApp group now to see.
I'm also going back through our WhatsApp, and so on the Wednesday, the 5th of June, we've got it's like a group called Sad Dad Redemption. It was the old TCGS group. It's basically me, Sean, Dave, and James. At 11 minutes past 12, Sean Bell bombs into the group saying, lads, do you want to know a secret? I mean, it's probably bullshit. And then already we're like, oh my God. I think actually I was busy at this point, but I saw a big flooding message. James was like, yes, I do.
Because this is literally 10 minutes after.
Yeah, you're supposed to tell like, the big secret. Yeah, and Dave's like, yes, I do. And you're like, well, this stuff always floats around pre-E3. James is like, go on. Yeah. And then Sean says, Sam White's heard from Luke Smith, the Bungie fella, that Microsoft are in the process of buying a very cool dev. Meanwhile, Joe Screbs has heard that someone is buying from.
Yeah.
And then, obviously,
that's what they gave me. And obviously, right, so, and for context, like, this made sense because Sam, like, you know, has interviewed Luke Smith quite a few times, and it's not entirely impossible that Luke Smith is high up. I mean, obviously it's Bungie, which is separate, but maybe he's heard something, like, you know. So that I didn't even think of questioning that.
Yeah, and that's why it's so perfect. And obviously you're really good friends with Joe, and he's like deputy editor of IGN. So again, like someone else.
Well, exactly. Yeah. So of course he would know something. Yeah.
And then basically, like you then start like saying, well, basically justifying that it could be happening, and then like Sean and Dave at that point were like, no way, never going to happen. And you're like, well, Microsoft had billions and billions of dollars, and then like at that point, Dave and James were on the defensive, saying, look, it's not going to happen, forget it.
Yeah, we're trying to sort of throw you off a bit with it.
But then Sean actually really believes this at that point, saying, well, this is it. Joe dismissed it at first, but then was like, actually, we haven't seen or heard of Bloodborne 2. Anyway. But it is, and then Sean was like, "This could be the entire." This is Sean again. After hearing the made-up lie, this could be the entire reasoning behind it, though. What better way to force Japan to finally buy an Xbox? And then
you see,
I've been out, but then I saw the messages. I was like, "Oh my God!" And then I was like, I jumped on this iMessage group we've got, like an iMessage thread from ages ago. Where it's like me, Dave, and James. And they're like, "Oh my God, Matt, this is perfect." And I was like, "Is it, or is it too on the nose?" And I was like, at first I wasn't sure if it was incredible or it's like, because you're like, well, how they're buying from stuff, and I was like, well, that literally is the lie. Is that like, is it too out there?
I'll tell you what else. You see, in the beginning, Sean, I've said it again.
In the beginning,
I was pushing for it to be EA buying from software. You see, because I thought,
I wouldn't have. Yeah. Nah, that was
I thought that would have been worse though. Like if that had, it'd be like significantly worse. You know, if they'd done that, but they were not having it.
I'm scanning through the conversation with Joe and Sam, and so Sam is sort of saying like, you know, like Microsoft has done this before. They did it with Mojang, and you know, just spent fucking millions on Minecraft. And Joe says Miyazaki will be the new Notch, going fully mental, walking around LA with his dick out, shouting at women to look at his bell gargle.
Yeah,
you probably didn't want me to share that, but fuck you, Joe. James lied to me.
James wrote that in January, didn't you, James? That was a brilliant bit of writing. We're up all night.
Oh, that was part of it, right?
Yeah, that's a fantastic script done by James there. Brilliant.
But no, fair dues. Like, although I saw through the lie, I had not. It was only I was chatting to Andy Hamilton the other day, and he was like, oh, that might be it, because we were talking about this months ago.
Yeah, but basically, like, we're all, we basically started talking about the TCGS meet at EGX, and then obviously we all had, like, we had a few beers, and I think you were in the corner talking to someone else, and then me, Andy, and a few of us were like, well, you could do this, how about this? And I was like, this would be perfect. And then it all went quiet, because I think maybe we've forgotten about it, but it's just, Rich Warner. Rich Warner's another one was like, no, this could be a good one. I was like, okay, good idea. Yeah. You can't trust anyone.
No, that's great.
So we had that like sort of seeded, from two of the people you like trust most in terms of gaming and rumours stuff. We're like, okay, and then we delivered it.
Not anymore.
Well, no, definitely not anymore. And then we delivered it, and you like no response. And like, oh fuck, did we push it? And also because the Kiana thing actually happened, I was basically trying to like lean on that. Like, hang on, he already knows we're really, really like passionate about Kiana coming on stage. Like, this will be a bit more subdued, but he's got it in the back of his mind. Actually, there's rumours before that, it's like industry secrets. And I was like, well, surely this will work. But you clocked it pretty much straight away.
The other thing that now makes sense is that when I came back online, over the next sort of 24 hours, I had about 4 messages from Sam being like, oh, so have you caught up on everything yet? Have you caught up? But obviously, I had no idea that he'd seeded it. So even though by that point, obviously, I'd found out the truth, I wasn't going to go, oh yeah, we did this bit on the show, because he doesn't listen to the show as far as I'm aware. So I wouldn't have explained that to him anyway. But he's like, yeah, have you seen it? Have you seen everything? Like, obviously, like hoping that I don't know,
yeah. So we seeded it with the right people. We delivered it.
No, absolutely.
But by the end of the show, you clocked it anyway. So
yeah, I mean, because and I'm not pinning this on James, because as I say, this was mostly me being paranoid. But what really made me think it was bullshit was the fact that so we'd had this conversation, and I'd said like, well, so if Microsoft wanted to make inroads in Japan, this would be an amazing way to do it. And James sort of used that, and I was like, he's just feeding my own lines back at me.
Oh, wow, you're really on the ball then. You're really like, what have I ever said to James about Japan?
Yeah. Like I say, although I was not convinced on the show, fair play for going to the effort that you did, because I did not realise that. Like, if Andy hadn't mentioned it, I would not have realised that John and Sam had bullshitted me as well.
Because in the first couple of years of doing this, we had like just relatively simple lies, and we had the trailer for James. So we certainly can't do a trailer again, because obviously no one's going to believe a trailer. Last year, you come out of like one of the ones was like one of my tweets went viral, and then the other one was what was the Splinter Cell Battle Royale mode, which sounded so brilliant and so detailed, and also Splinter Cell. I'm going to believe that. More on that later. So it was an issue like, well, we can't do any of those things. We had loads of ideas, but then like you're quite on the ball. Like, how are we going to do this? The only way we can do it is by doing it early and with people he really trusts, and that's why we did what we did, really. But yeah. But it was a wild E3 in terms of general announcements. There was just so much other stuff that maybe you wouldn't have believed.
There was a lot of stuff, but then if you look back at it, like, in the cold light of day, there wasn't really a lot of stuff that was actually that amazing, was there?
Really? No. I mean, I still think like overall quality is probably higher than most years. I think there's lots of stuff that looks really good, but there's no megatons.
There was that, but then also everything's coming out next year as well.
Yeah, we're definitely. You can tell it's like quite a year pre next gen. I mean, there was. Yeah, it was a weird E3. No one. I don't think particularly one. I like Microsoft, as I said, but I don't think. It wasn't like, oh, they've won. It's just no one had a particularly incredible conference. And you're right, we're in a bit of a holding pattern, I reckon, pre-next gen.
It missed Sony, obviously.
It really desperately did.
I mean, if only so that you can, take the mickey out of whatever they come up with, because it probably would have been bad like it was the year before. But you still I think it missed that, having, some sort of counterpoint to Microsoft stuff.
Yeah, because the Microsoft one was great, but then straight after I finished, I was like, I'm actually really bummed that there isn't going to be the big Sony show to look forward to now. I really, really, really miss that.
Definitely.
So did you watch the Devolver one, Sean?
Yes. Yeah, that was very good.
Yeah. What do you think of? Because what do you think like the bootleg pack that they're releasing?
Yeah. Really weird. It's one of those where it's like, but is this just like funny on paper? Is it actually going to be worth having? I hope it is, and knowing that Devolver's pedigree, I'm sure it will be.
Yeah.
But yeah, from the trailer, I was a bit like, but is it actually good? But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, and the one
the arcade cabinet.
Oh, the arcade cabinet, yeah. I mean, there's no price here, but also the game they opened up with was basically sort of like Gang Beasts or is it Human Fall Flat? But it's like auto battle royale. Yeah,
and I thought I was bored of that stuff, but that game actually looked a lot of fun. What was it called? I can't remember.
It had like a big old complicated name. I don't know. I have to look.
It did.
Yeah. It's maybe like Fall Down,
really
whatever. But yeah, it was a good one.
Yep.
So what was it like coming back on the internet? You installed all your favorite apps and
I'm still like not really on Twitter. Like I'm just checking it like a couple of times a day. Just like and that's about right. I think like I did I never reinstalled it on my phone. I was just using the web one.
Okay.
And it was like the first evening I was back online. I was like, let's have a look on Twitter. Oh, look, here's Boris Johnson saying something racist and people laughing and applauding him. I think I'll steer clear. Thank you.
Yeah.
So that's been nice, and I've been doing a bit more reading. Not real books, obviously, graphic novels. But
one is reader types, are you, Sean?
Yeah. But only if there's pictures as well.
Of course.
So that's been quite nice. So yeah, it was a nice little. Even though I say it was only 4 days, but it was a nice little sort of rebalancing. Like, actually, what do I actually miss about the internet, and what don't I really miss at all?
Yeah. I feel like you've gone back like, much more gradually than the rest of us, which is good.
Yeah, like I said, Twitter, I think I'm all right. Like, it is good fun occasionally, but is it worth the constant anxiety about current events? Maybe not.
Yeah, I get you with that one.
So yeah, but no, it's been all right, generally speaking.
Good one.
So what have we had in terms of feedback from other people? Because we've had quite a lot of stuff, haven't we?
We'll cut through some. Actually, before that, we'll mention our Patreon producers. Where these are our Patreon producers for this month. These are the people who've backed us on patreon.com/TCGS. There are Alan M. Nash, Barney Sparkles, and Steve Garrett. Thanks ever so much, guys. Let's go on with the free feedback.
Sorry, speaking of Patreon, I bought some wires this week, Matt.
Go on. I'm excited.
More fucking wires. I'm still like, after being so proud that that we have like half decent streaming setups that basically held together with like string and sticky tape. I'm like, oh no, I'm going to get loads of fucking gizmos now. It's not even anything exciting. It's just really boring shit. So like, because now I'm streaming at a desk with a monitor which has no audio capabilities, if I've got a console going into it, I've no way of listening to what's going on the console.
Okay. Which
is a pain in the arse. But so I've bought a little HDMI audio extractor box that I can plug. So that goes into, I have the Elgato to the console, and that goes to the audio extractor box, and I can plug my headphones into that.
Oh, right, nice.
And then just a little HDMI switch, so I can switch between PC and whatever's coming through the Elgato.
Oof, tasty.
It's just nice to be able to do things like that and be like, do you know what? It's like a few quid on some little boxes and cables, and it just means less fucking around. And it's nice to have the luxury of doing that. So thank you, patrons and Twitch subscribers.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I haven't done any big upgrades yet because I'm saving my money for a PC because I think that's the most substantial one. But I'm the same. Like, we have, considering we've done all this stuff on the PC I've got is like an 8 or 10-year-old PC I've got from a mate who's chucking it out. The amount of stuff we've done is amazing. But I'm used to this sort of level of it being held together by a string, and one wrong setting, the whole thing can come crashing down. But now I'm like, well, if I do some upgrades, what could I upgrade? I'm like, I could upgrade everything by lots, by way too much. Studio quality, everything. So I'm a bit worried, but that's that. Anyway, E3 feedback. Cool. We had a load of feedback, of course, about the show and whatnot. Alex79 UK. We talked about. We didn't just review everyone actually, but after the Xbox One put out a tweet saying, what do you think? And Alex79 said, I thought it was fantastic. Game Pass Ultimate is pretty much taking a piss out of Sony at this point. Genuinely thinking of switching sides next gen. I mean, now you've seen the Microsoft conference and you've seen like Game Pass for PC. Do you like in the cold light of day, Sean? Do you have any real feeling about, maybe you will you are more interested in Xbox, or are you still like, well, it's same as it was?
I mean, yeah, like PlayStation Plus now seems like a bit of a joke, doesn't it? Like if it wasn't for like Destiny 2, I mean, would I I do really quite resent keeping that sub up now. Now that Game Pass on PC is a thing.
I mean, we were talking about this the other day, like in the WhatsApp group, and you see, I think that both Xbox Live Gold and like PlayStation Plus, they ought to just get rid of them at this stage, because I think they've run their course, and I think it would be much better if they like. I mean, the best thing, as I said, that I thought that Sony could do would be to roll in like PlayStation Now into that. Maybe for a slightly higher price or something like that. I mean, it's not brilliant, but it's still. I mean, there's still like 600 odd games on there, and it's this is what's crazy about it. It's not bad at all. It's just that nobody uses it because they don't like advertise it at all. Like, there's no. I mean, and a load of the stuff you can download as well. The only thing that's missing on it, compared with like Game Pass, is that you don't get like first party games like when they first come out. But the rest of the content is really similar. It's just that they just don't advertise that fact, and it's which is odd. But I mean, if you look at the quality of the stuff that's come out on PlayStation Plus like over the last couple of months, it's been pretty poor, isn't it, for like the last year or so?
It has, yeah. I always like to make fun of people who moan about PlayStation Plus stuff, but it has been pretty dry for a while, yeah.
And it's the same. But then if you look at Xbox Live Gold, that's also been not great either. I mean, this month, what have we had? We had like NFL and like a golf game. Yeah. It's just, that's not that great either.
Yeah, it is odd. I mean, also, like, I've last sort of couple of months, I've been quite positive about Humble Monthly, and I've, discovering that has been quite a revelation. There's like lots of really good stuff that I like on it, and it's really weird the way it works. So, like, halfway through the month, they'll be like, "Oh, here's like the first or like either one or two of the games that we're giving away next month." But if you pay early, you can have them now. So
it's not a direct debit or what?
It is, but you can choose to pay like a couple of weeks early and get some of next month's games a bit earlier than the rest, which is weird, but whatever. It was, I can't remember what the games were now, but it was two games that I was actually interested in, and I was like, fuck, I might pay up early. And then Game Pass for PC launches and has both of those games and loads of other stuff that I really want to play. So I think that might be Humble Monthly getting knocked on the head as well if that continues.
So tell us about your Game Pass on PC experience. So I feel some people actually say like the app is good. So is it like a separate?
The app is fine.
Is it a separate Game Pass app? Is it for PC?
It is. Yeah. Well, it's a new Xbox app.
Right.
But yeah, it's got all the Game Pass stuff in it separately from the normal Xbox app on your PC.
So you've got two Xbox apps on the PC now. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So you use the beta one to access the Game Pass stuff. Right, and to be honest, I've felt no need to go back to the old one for anything. So fine. I mean, I have heard people having problems with it, like downloads not working and stuff. It's been okay for me. Touch wood. I did. I think I messaged you guys when I was downloading Wolfenstein 2, and it was like, it was like 1 gig of 50 had downloaded, and it was like, you're 10% complete. I was
like, well, the maths.
Nope.
What maths are they?
Nope, bad maths.
Yeah.
Which, you would think is one of the easiest things to get right. Like, I can do that calculation in Excel. I can do it in my head more accurately than that uploading bot did. But whatever. So yeah, that was a thing. But I mean, beyond, apart from that, like, download speeds have been amazing. Everything's worked. Really happy with it.
So you got like a 1 month trial, have you? Or
yeah, just for £1.
Okay, cool. So right now, are you going to see how often like games get announced? Because I think is it monthly? I guess, James, new games get added. I mean, you see a lot of like the updates for them. I'm not sure how frequent they really are, but. So right now, are you thinking you might keep that, or just see what it's like?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, even just looking at, the archive that's already up, there's like so much stuff in there I want to dig through. So I'm really happy for like the next few months at least, I think. And like, it's really encouraging. I've mentioned before games like Mutant Year Zero, which came out on Game Pass and are available on PC, but not on the Windows Store. So they weren't part of. The sort of PC Game Pass offering as was. So like those games are now all on Game Pass, like on PC. They're like all those titles that you assumed would have been but weren't now seem to be there. So that's really cool as well.
There's other games like Outer Wild Outer
Yes.
Worlds. I need to be careful about the name because I keep thinking Outer Worlds. Outer Worlds, that is obviously on Xbox Game Pass, but it's not on PC.
No,
is it on Epic Store?
It is on the Epic Store, yeah.
So yeah, it's like annoying how those sorts of games sort of fall through the cracks somewhat. But
yeah, I mean it's only a tenner, and everyone says it's incredible. So I've bought it. I've not played it yet.
Oh, you bought it? Fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, I bought it. So hopefully I'll have that played by next week. So I guess in where there's exclusivity deals have been signed as they usually have with the Epic Store. I guess those games are still exempt, but overall, really chuffed with it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And keep on the Xbox theme, Star Geek in our Discord said, so in summary, Xbox have no big exclusives, showed no gameplay for their big two franchises, revealed minor specs for Scarlet, and still Sean Bell and Matt Murray are saying they will win the next gen.
I know. That's what I've been saying,
they continue to say, I understand the guys are Microsoft fanboys, but the mental gymnastics they're doing to justify Xbox now is hilarious. And I'll just preface this by saying, I did tweet the morning after the Xbox show saying, do I think it was a great show? Yes. But did it suffer from too much CGI, no gameplay, no new IP, and no big exclusives? Yes. And also said, fundamentally, do I think it made Sony regret not being at E3? Definitely not. So I think I covered a lot of those points anyway. But the idea of us being Microsoft fanboys, I mean...
Come on, man.
How much do you enjoy your Xbox?
Mental gymnastics they're doing to justify Xbox. What, £1 for a load of really good games? That's not a stretch for me. That's quite a simple...
But you love your Xbox, don't you, Sean?
process. You what, sorry?
You love your Xbox, don't you? You always...
I love my Xbox that I own. It's made of air.
And the Xbox that James says is like his worst console of all time and he hates it.
Yeah.
Well, it is. I mean, I still... The one I've got, the Xbox, the original one I've got, it's dreadful. It's absolutely dreadful. And I don't... Maybe the Xbox One X is better, but the current one is...
It definitely is.
It's absolutely terrible. It's I still hate it.
Sounds like something a fanboy would say, James. Yeah. Sounds like it.
I mean, but you see, I still feel though that Microsoft. I mean, this is the mistake. You could say maybe it's a mistake that Sony weren't there in the sense that everyone's talking about Game Pass and saying, they've got it all sewn up for next generation and everything. I still think it's way too early to say that. And the fact that
no one's saying that. No one's saying they got it sewn up. They're saying that they're making all the right moves.
Yeah, but everyone's like, I'm going to switch to, I'm switching to Xbox now and all that kind of stuff. With one of the ones emails we just got, Matt said that.
Yeah, but you said everyone.
To be fair, I've threatened the same
I've seen
as
some
well.
People, sure, but some people out of like the thousands, like millions and millions, it isn't everyone sending a Switch. People are like, okay, maybe Microsoft are doing some good things for next gen, and the Game Pass is an interesting proposition, and so on and so forth, but. Like, it is, but then I still wrapped up. It's nowhere near. Like, Microsoft is so far behind. All you got to say is, God of War 2, bang. It's like, okay, they've won. I
still think we've got to wait and see what Sony do because we have no idea at all what they're going to be offering.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
It's it's just I don't know, it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I said this in Discord, but I'll say it again. Like, do you want Microsoft to be more competitive next gen? Absolutely. Like, that's what we need. Like. It'd be better for gaming and everyone, us playing it, and and the whole industry. If we got two or ideally three people all super competitive, they're all going to push each other. It's ultimately going to be better for the consumer. They're all trying to undercut each other, etc., etc. We want Microsoft to compete with Sony because that'll make for a better Sony. That'll make Sony push themselves better, and I think that'll be better for everyone.
See, you'd think so, but this is what I'm concerned about with this: is that Game Pass is obviously really good. And as I said, like Sony could make PlayStation now a lot better than it is, but they won't because they don't need to, and that's the problem. And that's why next generation is going to be really interesting because maybe people will skip over to Xbox because of Game Pass. But at the moment, there's no reason why you would. Like it's just
no, absolutely not. No, yeah.
That's just it, isn't it? Like so much of it just rests on whether or not Sony's arrogance extends to the next generation or not. Like
there's no way that they would add first-party games to something like PlayStation Now or something like that.
Absolutely not. Absolutely
why
not.
would they?
Exactly.
Making money hand over fist with it. So it's why
that'd be stupid. That'd be absolutely stupid. And they won't do it. They don't need to because they're winning. And so obviously the underdog, in this case Microsoft, they need to be making big moves, which they're doing. Acquisitions, Game Pass, etc. They need to do it to try and get back into the swing of things for next gen. Or this gen, obviously they hoped. But the X seemed like a bit of a reset and they're trying to get things going for next gen. But we should all want that to happen. We want both of these people, and Nintendo as well, to be crushing it. So it's just better for everyone. So anyway, that's that rant done. Where was I? Oh yeah, so Baldur's Gate 3. So Liz Walker emailed, "Hi guys, I know you can't possibly talk about every game featured at E3, but I'm glad you guys didn't talk about the amazing and creepy Baldur's Gate 3 trailer, featuring a dude literally transforming into a mind flayer. Personally, for me, as a huge fan of the original series, it was the most exciting announcement at E3, given that Larian, who created Divinity Original Sin series, are going to be developing it. So what's your thoughts on Baldur's Gate 3? And if you haven't played the originals, you'll be pleased to know the enhanced editions are getting a Switch release later this year." And that's from Liz Walker. Now, I know like Baldur's Gate was massive when I was younger. Like my mate Sai loved that, but also loved the old isometric Fallout games. So are they more? Are they sort of like more like dungeon? Are they dungeon crawling type games?
They're full RPGs with stories and lots of characters and all the rest of it. They're basically one of the sort of origins of the the BioWare mold, like,
right, okay, yeah.
And it's like getting companions together and doing sort of main quests, but also side quests, and then sometimes your companions will be like, "Hello, here is a personal problem I have. Do you want to do a quest for me, and I will like you more?" And all that stuff pretty much came from Baldur's Gate, as far as I'm aware. So Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 are brilliant games. I don't know how well they've aged now. I'll probably check out the enhanced editions when they come out on the Switch, because it'd be mad not to.
Exactly.
But properly excited about this, especially because Liz mentioned it's by Larian, who created the Divinity games. Because apparently Divinity 2 is like fucking amazing. Like,
really?
I still haven't played it, but it's meant to be absolutely stunning.
And that's a game in the same mold as the old Baldur's Gate games.
Yeah. So it's like a sort of a more or less top down sort of fantasy RPG, and it's meant to be like fucking brilliant. I've got it on PC and I just never I did the tutorial and then had to go and do something else, which obviously is always the kiss of death for an RPG, because that's never the good bit.
No.
And so unless you push through and actually get a bit of story out of the way, you're probably not going to be hooked. But everyone I know absolutely loves that game. So everyone I know who's played it. I need to get Divinity 2 played. But then obviously, it's one of those, it's like, but that's like a 60, 70 hour commitment or whatever. So we'll see. But really excited about Baldur's Gate 3,
Yeah. So we'll do a small kind of funny bit, because in the interest, I could have skipped this, but in the interest of balance, I'll do it. What I was, as we covered on last week's E3 show, I mentioned it kind of funny doing this like indie showcase. I did one at last September, I guess, when PSX didn't happen, and it did one free. We're tweeting about it in the week, saying if you want to watch it with us, here's the link, etc. Dave tweeted us saying, "Are we now sponsored by these guys?"
It's a good question,
because this was, because obviously on last week's show, James, you were quite hostile when Matt brought Kind of Funny up. You never mentioned this.
Well, it's because he just keeps going on about it, like all the time. He's always going on about them, and it's like,
Anyway, Ben Syme, Scientologist. I dislike Kind of Funny, but I agree with Matt that they should cover their show. It has 60 plus games, and needing to be a big publisher is shite from James. Also, it's the main point in the Kind of Funny showcase, right?
Yeah.
Thomas Amplar 42. I'm with James on the Kind of Funny debate. Matt, stop promoting them. I mean, sure, give them advice on how to do a good podcast, but don't send listeners their way. They're rivals. I enjoy them, so up yours. But I still think their showcase is another E3 show, and
but you did also set our Twitch channel to host them, Matt. That was
no, I couldn't, because it's on YouTube.
Oh right, okay,
yeah.
Okay.
I tried.
He was just tweeting about them instead.
But no, because we showed every other one. So of course.
I mean, obviously, there's only one way to resolve this. We need to do our own conference next year.
I was seriously thinking about that. That's the next thing we want to do.
That's on the
to-do list. If anybody wants to be featured in the computer game showcase, that there'll be, then just contact Matt.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be amazing.
If even if it was just like Fest.
Yeah, even if it was just like a few people that we know who make games on the side or whatever, that would be amazing to put a little video together.
Don't, because I mean, it's on my to-do list. We'll have to see. But okay, I won't remain Kind of Funny anymore. I still think they're
until
doing
the next,
until the next. Oh, actually, they've announced another one next week, so we will show that live. Cool. Ben Time Outside Dodgers is back. I don't know about if you don't know about No More Heroes, get them played, and that tweet was fueled by annoyance because me and James are scumbags. I mean, I obviously knew about No More Heroes, I just hadn't played them. Are they widely regarded as great, or is Ben high?
I think they're quite niche. I enjoyed, like, tonally, there's so much cool stuff in them, but, like, to actually play them, they are, like... So, like, the first one is... So, you're this guy, Travis Touchdown, which is an amazing name, and he's just, like, a guy who likes video games and anime and buys a lightsaber off eBay, and he is modelled on Johnny Knoxville.
Oh, right, okay.
And he's trying to become the world's best assassin. And it's like, so you do these assassin jobs where you kill people and they're really good. But then, like, in between, you have to, like, take part-time jobs to earn money, and it's like mowing the lawn and shit like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Does it also have loads of like references to other games? Because I know, like, in the new trailer, it had like an ape out game over screen, and is that common in the series, like referencing other games and stuff?
Do you know? I can't remember if that was a big thing in the originals. It was like the first one obviously came out on the Wii, and it did this cool thing where, like, all your finishing moves were like wrestling moves as well. So you'd be like fighting people, and they would come up with just like it was like gesture based stuff, but it was really simple. So you'd feel, you just like lift your arms up and you'll do a fucking pile driver on someone and stuff like that. Was like still quite novel at the time. But again, so I don't know how that's aged. But yeah, like they're weird and interesting enough that, like, if you can see through some of the boring bits, like they are well worth a look. But yeah, I don't know.
Does that make you want to play it, James?
No.
Okay. No. Dalton. How long I guess right? Dalton Damirantino.
Dalton DiMartino.
That's the one. That's my version of Ramalaptar, isn't it?
It is. It's an amazing name as well.
Yeah, it is fantastic. Love the show. Did Matt and James really think Microsoft's Rare would announce a new Banjo game on a Nintendo stream?
Can I give my opinion on this? Because I didn't.
Can I finish reading the email first, James, and then you can do it?
No, because you've already read it. So
no, I've got more.
No,
I know
Nintendo.
Shut up, James. I know Nintendo and Xbox are buddy now, but let's be realistic. The art at the beginning of the trailer seemed like a dead giveaway that this was a Smash-related thing. The other thing that probably isn't as obvious was that the way the trailer was shot was very similar to how they announced that King K. Rool was coming to Smash, but I wish Xbox would have announced a new Banjo game at their conference. James.
So there was a big thing about this with, like, because Dave weighed in as well, saying like, oh, he thought it was and he felt disappointed and everything. I'll be honest, when I first saw that, I did think it was a Smash thing straight away, because it did have the same... No, I know you're not going to believe me, but it's true, because it did have exactly the same, like, art style.
You can't get me twice, can you, Nintendo? You got me one time.
Exactly, because they'd already done me with the fucking...
Why didn't you write Smash in the chat immediately then, James? You got everyone excited. Yeah. Your silence spoke volumes.
So, yeah.
I mean,
when you were describing it, part of me was like, because people have sort of said like, oh, when's like Rare Replay coming to Switch? And when you're first describing it, and it was like, oh yeah, it was when you mentioned Banjo, and I was like, oh fuck, maybe this is Rare Replay, and then
actually that would have been a good lie.
Character. Yeah, good.
Although you would have only said, "Oh, right, yeah, cool."
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, I mean,
I've
actually, after seeing this and seeing some of the discourse on Twitter, I watched the trailer again, and yes, now it does seem obvious, and I'll never trust Nintendo ever again. Thomas Atlama Fluff 42 is back. I loved how Sean feigned indifference to the flight simulator. I don't believe that this was true feelings on the matter. Maybe he thought it was a fib. Like, did you think that was a lie as well?
I thought that was a fib, yeah, but like not enough to be like, no, fuck off, that's bullshit. Yeah. But I was like, that seems like a really weird choice. But no, that is entirely real, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. What do you think it looked like?
It looks like if you were a fan of the old ones, it's something you'll really enjoy. I don't know, man. I've never been one for like hardcore sims. I tried to play Flight Sim back in the day, but it's like, what do you mean you need to learn loads of stuff before you can even take off? This is shit. I and I still don't like, even as a grown man in his 30s, I still don't really think that's something I'm going to need.
I think this could be an excellent streaming series, James.
Do you reckon?
Seriously, I think you, James, like captain's hat on, like you should do this. Like even if it takes like
a bomber jacket with
definitely a bomber jacket with like those scarves. We put like wire in the scarf to look like the scarf is like
so it looks like it's split.
I'm ruining either one of our outfits now, James. If we decide to do that, but even if it takes 6 weeks to even get off the ground,
I mean, to be fair, I'd watch a stream of James just trying to fucking take off.
Why do you think I'm no good at doing this? What's that about?
No, not that you're no good at it. Just that, unless you're prepared to do a bit of learning, they are quite complex. Like they're quite involved.
I'm fine with learning, Sean. I'm okay with doing that.
Okay, well, that's agreed. Flight Sim stream is coming in. When's that game out? I don't know, but it looks good.
I mean, it's day one on Game Pass, isn't it?
It is,
I'll give it a go.
Exactly.
I'm sure it'll be more thrilling than Quantum Break. So,
Oh, yeah. That was... Yeah, we'll get on... Well, no, we won't get on to that because we're not doing what we've been playing this week.
Thankfully.
Next week.
Well, that's something to look forward to, isn't it? Joshua Boyles at JoshuBoyles2 on Twitter. While I was expecting a Splinter Cell-sized lie like last year, I have to say that Matt and James really knocked it out of the park with the subtleties this year. I watched every conference live and I was still questioning myself when listening to the pod. Top work. I mean, there was only the one lie, but I think everyone thought, hang on, maybe they have slipped more than one line. There was just one lie, wasn't there, James?
Because obviously, because I'd sussed that and I was like, well, I still can't get too cocky.
Two including the PSO thing, I guess, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, well, can't be too fucking cocky because what if there's more stuff? What if that's the long game? They give me one obvious lie and then I think I've cracked it and then there's actually loads of others. But yeah. That's how paranoid I was.
I had loads of good ones after the next day as well, but I was like, oh, it is what it is. Oh yeah, Tom Durbin at Calico's back on Twitter. Top work on the E3 show, lads. I re-listened yesterday while grinding Hearts on Castlevania 2, and I must say it's great background noise. I'll take that as a compliment.
I was going to say that's a backhanded compliment.
You're so shit. Okay, I've got to ask though, why is Sean so embarrassed about liking Dragon Ball? I've never watched it myself, but you've got to embrace that shit.
Do you know what? On most things, I would agree with you, but no, I don't like it anymore. That's the main thing. I used to watch it when I was a teenager and it used to be on Cartoon Network and I used to thought it was the greatest shit, and then in hindsight it's like, I mean, criticisms that anyone could level at Dragon Ball. There's fucking so many episodes where fuck all happens, and it's just a load of stupid shit.
That's the case for a lot of anime, though, isn't it? In terms
that is anime, isn't it? Well, it's like you
get the slow burn, but then also there's all the fillers as well that you get when they run out of content. For
let's do a recap episode.
Yeah. I'm thinking of watching my second ever anime, and by that I mean I've seen like loads of like Spirited Away and that sort of stuff, but I mean like an actual series. I watched
actual series.
What's it called, James? A Death Note. Watched that. I watched that basically because I've never seen anime before. This is like last year or the year before, and I was like, well, obviously it's a big thing. I wanted to see what it's about. I've never really understood what it's about, and I think you recommended Death Note, and I really enjoyed it. Actually, I thought it was excellent. I thought the end was a bit weird, but
it goes off the.
I thought the first two thirds are fantastic, and I think I found my second one because I think the others we'll talk about is My Hero Academia.
Yeah, everyone loves that.
Have you seen that, James?
Yeah, they do.
James, have you seen that?
I've not seen it. No.
Sean, have you seen it?
I haven't.
Okay, yeah, but so I think that's my second one. I asked Tamor yesterday on Twitter. I think it's only available on Crunchyroll, which I think is an app.
Yeah.
So, but there is a trial, so I think I'm going to attempt to watch my second one ever.
You can watch stuff on Crunchyroll, but it is annoying because there's like adverts like every 5 seconds kind of thing, and
right.
And it's only like a $5 a month.
Yeah, true.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah, because there's obviously loads of anime on like the Netflix and Amazon Prime, Amazon Video and stuff, but I don't. But that's the only way to find this particular show is on.
Also, anime is available on numerous websites as well.
Interesting.
So it's
maybe
but unless you want to knock on the door from the old bill.
Yeah, I don't want that.
You got to be careful.
I do not want that.
I mean, it's also Cowboy Bebop is like the only one. That was another one of James' suggested
thing. I think that was the one I was going to watch next, actually, but I just stopped for whatever reason. But I really enjoyed Death Note, the first two thirds. I thought some bits on that were fucking excellent for someone who's I've never really seen that stuff. I was like, okay, I can probably understand why anime is a thing.
Yeah. There's also it's not really anime, but everyone says it's like, oh, this is like what if anime was good. Is the Castlevania series?
That's another one
fucking brilliant.
Yeah, and those are really short, aren't they? As well.
They're pretty much like each series is essentially like when you add up the episodes is basically a film.
Right, awesome,
which is about right. And there's an episode of series 2 that is like honestly one of the best episodes of TV I've ever seen. There's a fight scene that is about 5 minutes long, and I don't think I breathed once throughout. It's fucking so good.
Yeah, the voice work's brilliant as well. The whole thing's great.
And like loads of really nice nods to the games if you're familiar with them, but if you're not, it perfectly explains itself. Fucking excellent show.
Okay, well, I'll add that to the list then for sure.
Yeah.
Darren Moore, favourite episode of the year alongside the Gotti stuff. I can't wait to hear Sean's reactions. Us too, Darren.
Sorry, Darren.
We will go... some people complain about a noise that happened about an hour and 40 seconds into the last show.
What was that?
It was basically the sound. I mean, I'm not going to bet it in because it's basically it was James. I think it was on James' audio going like, it wasn't James's soul leaving his body. It was just a weird audio glitch.
Yeah. Okay. There will be weird audio this time as well because I realised about
what have you done
half an hour ago that I'd left my fan on again. So
James, no. Okay, I'm glad you told me because okay.
It's hot. It's really hot in here, and I've had to turn it off, and I'm not enjoying this now.
Okay, so that's gonna. Okay, well, thanks. Well, at least you told me. Like last time, where I did all the edit and then put yours in. I was like, why does it sound weird at the beginning?
Yeah,
because I hadn't removed the fan noise. Which anyway,
brilliant.
That's it for feedback. If you want to leave us feedback, it's at Computer Game on Twitter, or you can email podcast@thecomputergameshow.com.
Right. Oh, we need to go through our E3 prediction results, don't we? This will be good.
Yes, this is the big results episode.
Yeah, we all get loads of points. We were all right about loads of things. It's going to be fine.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. So on the last 2 shows ago, we did our predictions for E3 for every one of the conferences, apart from Kind of Funny. We predicted, we said what we thought the first game coming out or announced or shown off at each conference would be, the last game, and then we also had, where possible, a couple of predictions for other things that would happen in each of the conferences. Look, let's get going, basically. Microsoft was the first one up. We didn't bother with EA Play because, come on. But also because the schedule's literally posted, so silly.
Yeah, true.
Microsoft,
not many surprises there.
The first game out of Microsoft was Outer Worlds, The Outer Worlds. Spoilers, none of us got it. James had a good one. The Fable reboot. I mean, that wasn't even seen, was it?
No, it wasn't. That was a shame.
Yeah. So that's nailed on for next year, surely. I mean,
to be fair, we don't know for certain.
Playground working on it. Is that just a rumor or what?
It's rumor, isn't it? It's not.
It's just a rumor.
Confirmed.
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, next year's E3 with Scarlet and then a Fable reboot definitely start. Anyway, so James said Fable, no points for James. Sean said the Halo TV show. that was a risky one, but nothing.
It was a total no show.
I said Halo Infinite. I thought, well, come on, this is nailed on. That was not the first game shown. Actually, the last game shown was Halo Infinite.
I get a point for that.
And the first points on the board for James. James correctly predicted Halo Infinite as the last game. Sean, are you able to write down the scores? Because
go on then. Just give me a sec. I'll start a new document. Hang on.
Get a pen or a phone or I don't know, a bit of bark. Whatever.
Pen? Well, I think I am some sort of fucking caveman.
I say that because I don't use pens, but so I thought someone might. Yeah, so James gets 1 point for guessing that the Microsoft last game was Halo Infinite. Very good, James.
Cool.
Sean said Ninja Theory game. Sadly, that was like the second or third game announced.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, by the way? Because we went mega up on it.
I don't know how I feel. As I say, yeah. So the character designs and stuff looked. Something like that. Yeah. The character designs look insane and really cool. I quite enjoyed the way it looks. But as I say, obviously that they've got a good pedigree, but then so had Platinum, and they made Anarchy Reigns, which was good fun, but it wasn't. I don't know, making like a very online fighting game like that is not easy. And if Platinum couldn't entirely nail it and make it a success, I don't know. It's a risky one, but I'm excited. So I'll definitely try it out.
Yeah, and obviously they said that was actually it's been in development for years before Microsoft acquired them.
Yeah.
So
we'll fingers crossed.
So that was Sean's last game, Ninja Theory game. That wasn't the one, and I guessed they would end with a new Splinter Cell. That didn't happen.
No,
but that didn't happen this time.
The best thing about that E3, Sean, with this was that prior to E3. There was these leaks in inverted commas that were coming out.
I forgot the leaks.
That were saying first of all there was one about how one retailer had got the Sam Fisher goggles for sale.
Yes,
right.
It's like, why would they do that?
Matt was convinced that this meant that Splinter Cell was happening. So
not just me.
In our group chat, he was all like, "Yes, see, I was right this time. It's definitely going to happen." The same thing also happened for Super Monkey Ball as well, where he was like, that, he got that right as well. But yeah, both those turned out.
Well, I said I got it right because in the time you're off, Sega had registered a new what was it? New registered trademark or something for a new Monkey Ball game.
Right.
I was like, it's happening! I fucking knew it! In caps, and then obviously
it didn't happen.
It did happen this year. But
well, you're not having Splinter Cell next year anyway.
James, I will be having Splinter Cell next year.
You won't, because it doesn't.
I don't think it's fair to deny my predictions next year.
No, you can't just keep repeating the same predictions every year. It's ridiculous.
Right twice a day, yeah.
Exactly.
Yes, you can.
It's absurd.
No, but next year it's going to happen though.
Absolutely absurd. I mean, that would be like me saying, okay, I'm going to predict that Microsoft will show what the next console looks like. It's just, you can't just have the same one all the time. It's ridiculous.
Well, but no, if you guess it every time, be my guest. No. You only have it once every 5 years.
David and I are going to veto it, so it's not going to happen.
Well, Sean, what do you think? Because if you say yes, that's 2v2, and then we have to argue out the Gotti show.
Sorry, mate. I see where James is coming from.
No, come on. No. If you do this, it will definitely get announced next year. Don't do this in the year it's going to come out.
You're not having it. No, it's not happening.
Well, no. If you...
No, you see, you do... It's that gambler's fallacy of But it's if you keep using the same lottery numbers every week, the second I stop, then those winning numbers will come up because it's sod's law. I've used up all my bad luck, and now I'm due a win.
Sean,
it doesn't work like that.
A stop clock is right twice a day. Splinter Cell's coming, 2020. I've got a year to work on you. But okay, James, I'll let you have a really wank, prediction if you let me have this.
No,
don't deny it. It's gonna. Okay, well, we'll we've got a whole year to work on you, I think. Right, so that was the first and second. Yeah, so that was that. We also had some predictions about generally what happened. We'll start with James. James predicted Forza as a games as a service.
Yeah,
didn't happen.
Yeah. No. Instead, we got Lego.
We got Lego. What do you
think of Lego, Sean? It looks amazing, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's great. I've already bought it.
Oh, nice. Did you buy I heard there's a pack you can buy both of them. Did you buy that? Or?
Yeah, but I didn't because I don't know. I've got no interest in Fortune Island.
I wasn't sure about it was a saving or whatever. I assume it would be, but
I think but not by a lot.
Oh, cool. So have you played it much?
I have. Oh, we'll discuss it next week.
Okay, we'll discuss it next week. Yeah. So So, although I haven't said that, when they started that Forza thing, I think they might have said some things. I was like, oh my God, hang on, maybe James is right. I'm sure they might have. I don't know what language they used, and actually I'm not even sure there was even a voiceover, but something, I was like, oh my God, hang on. I think it might say, I know, whatever, regardless. I was shit myself, but thankfully it didn't happen. James, another one for James, xCloud month and it coming to iOS, Android and Switch.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
Yeah, that's a no.
Well, there was no detail, was there, really, about xCloud, hardly at all.
No,
you're right.
It was a weird bit, that, in general.
Let me just... I don't seem to have your other predictions here, Sean, so just bear with me.
No, I didn't have any others, that was
it.
You did?
Okay, right. I thought, hang on, how was this
I was just rubbish.
Yeah, Sean's gave up at this point, so Sean's definitely got Neil Poir. Okay, and my other ones were David Cage going with Microsoft. That didn't happen. Maybe next year. Resident Evil 8 and Resident Evil 3 remake.
No.
Also. I mean, thinking about it now, these were silly. So after that Microsoft show, James's 1 point and me and Sean, a big fat 0 so far. Bethesda was the next one on the books. Their actual first game was Elder Scrolls Blades.
Yeah.
Which is a crazy first game. James guessed good Doom Eternal. Good shout, but no. Sean also Doom Eternal, and mine was Dishonored 3. So, again, nothing. The last game they showed was Doom Eternal. So James, last game Starfield. Last game for Sean, Elder Scrolls 6, also a non-event, and me, Starfield teaser. I mean, if we just switched around, it would have been fine.
Ending with Doom is a weird one, just because, like, I'm excited about it, but we all pretty much know what the deal is, right?
Yeah.
It's not like it's not a surprise ending to a conference. So yeah, I did think that was odd.
And you never would have guessed Elder Scrolls Blades as the first way to. I mean, technically, I guess they kicked off with like a video and then the Fallout apology, but the first actual game being that is crazy.
Yeah.
So that's that. But James's first prediction: no Elder Scrolls 6.
I was right about that.
Yeah. Technically,
I'm surprised we allowed that. To be honest,
I'm annoyed we let it slip through.
You did, so yeah.
But I was going to get to. There's lots of things I'm amazed we let slip through the net. Frankly,
so now James has got
there.
That's
second point
now.
for James. So you write it down in your pen, Sean. Also, Rage 2 on Switch, which is a good guess, but no, not right. Sean's first point here: Elder Scrolls Blades mention. He got more to mention, so.
I was a bit more specific, wasn't I? I was saying like they'll do a bit where they're like, oh, here's how many millions of players we've got, and thank you for coming on this journey with us, and which they sort of did. I mean,
I mean, you're sort of doing yourself out of point now because they didn't do that. They said is it out on Switch, but they didn't. This was the game they didn't mention how many players. So
okay, fuck it. No, that was to be honest, that prediction probably shouldn't have got through anyway. So I'm happy to not get a point.
What were we saying, James? Are we? Is that a nil point for Sean here?
That's a no points. Yeah,
says Mister. They will not show a game.
Yeah, we made it through.
Right, but this next one also, like Sean's second prediction was surprisingly heartfelt moment about fucking up Fallout 76. Now, they weren't heartfelt about it at all. No.
They were almost
joking about it. I haven't seen it.
I mean, that guy, he could have just said, it's been a complete disaster, and the guy would have been like, yeah!
Yeah, a guy that you thought was a member of staff, I can't see that being the case. It wasn't heartfelt at all, Sean, so that's no points. I mean, yes, they mentioned it, but... I mean, they were joking about it at the beginning. I'm surprised about all drama this year. I'm surprised you're even here. Yeah. I only made one prediction for this, and that was Evil Within 3, and no. I really thought that was going to be it, but when there's the one for the Blair... was Blair Witch on Xbox, wasn't it, actually?
Yeah.
No, so nothing there, so... Now James has 2 points after two conferences, so this is all going tits up. The PC Gaming Show was the next one. This is where the points really start racking up. The first game announced was Evil Genius 2 World Domination. None of us got that.
No.
James had nothing.
Well, because what's fascinating about Evil Genius is the first one was made by Demis Hassabis, who was Peter Molyneux's protege, and now he's the guy behind AlphaGo, Google's project to make a computer clever enough to beat the world Go champion. There's a very good documentary on Netflix about it, which is well worth a watch. So yeah, he's like a super fucking AI expert now. But he used to make video games, and he made the original Evil Genius. So actually, sort of intrigued. I assume he isn't working on this. I think he's too busy making like world-dominating supercomputers.
Actually,
it's ironic given that the new game's about world domination.
None of us got that, surprisingly. James had nothing. Sean guessed Cyberpunk and a release date, and I also did Cyberpunk. The last game was Baldur's Gate 3, as we mentioned earlier. James, nothing. Sean, some RTS piss, wasn't it?
I mean, technically, you could play Baldur's Gate as a real-time strategy game, but that is a stretch.
Not. Mine was Age of Empires 4, nothing. And then you two had no other predictions. Mine was Witchbook from Chucklefish, no, and Minesweeper with ray tracing. So that was a bit of
that. In the document, you've written Minesweeper with ray tracing, but capital R, capital T, so it looks like it's like a guy's name. Welcome to Minesweeper, and I'm Ray Tracing.
They should do, it's like a brand new, like, it's a new character. They're like, we need to bring Minesweeper up into the world, how can we do it? It's like, Ray Tracing. Anyway, Ubisoft was next. First game they announced or shown off was Watch Dogs 3.
Oh, James gets another point.
James gets another point. Unbelievable. James gets Watch Dogs 3. Now it just feels... It feels obvious, but Sean, first game, Just Dance, not quite there. And I stupidly said new Assassin's Creed. I don't know what was happening with my predictions. This bad year so far for me.
I mean, to be fair, that's a reasonable.
Yeah, I guess. Anyway, it all seems so.
When have you ever had a good year?
Easily led with that.
Have I ever had a good... Hang on, let's think. No, I haven't, have I?
I don't think you have, Matt.
That's because I'm too much of a believer. I want the good stuff, and you're like, Watch Dogs.
The thing with Matt is that when it comes to E3, he goes with his heart, not with his head.
Exactly, yeah. I go for what would be the most hyped moment, not like, maybe the third Watch Dogs game. The last game was Gods and Monsters. Obviously, it was been rumoured, but no one knew anything about it, so no one got that. James guessed Assassin's Creed. Sean guessed Watch Dogs 3, and I also went Watch Dogs 3 like an idiot. Then we go on to the predictions. Now, James, Mario and Rabbids 2. I'm very surprised we didn't see that this year.
Yeah, there was nothing with that. Yeah, that wasn't happening.
I mean, there was no rumours, there's no leaks, but I was like, I thought, that felt like a good one. New Rayman game, also nothing.
Nope.
Sure, new Trackmania, and it's coming to Switch.
Nope.
I mean, they should do that, shouldn't they?
They should. That's free money waiting for that. I mean, even if it was just Trackmania Turbo again, I'd 20 quid. There you go.
Definitely. Why are they doing that? My first prediction, Splinter Cell. Now, obviously, there's that game, and Sam Fisher's in it. So
that absolutely does not count.
Don't even try it.
He was, it was Sam Fisher, he's in the game. I must get half a point for that, at least, right?
Absolutely not.
No.
But I just said Splinter Cell. I didn't say new Splinter. I said Splinter Cell. Like, if anything, that could be like, and by that I mean like
Matt.
So if Sam Fisher was coming to Smash Brothers, would you count that?
But also, his name is Sam Fisher, not Splinter Cell.
But everyone calls him Splinter Cell, don't they? So I was the Splinter Cell guy.
There he is, Splinter Cell.
Yeah, it is Splinter Cell. It's like the guy from Turtles.
Like Jaws the Shark.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like ray tracing. Okay, so I guess not. And then I also doubled down on Trackmania. New Trackmania announcement has a Battle Royale mode. I thought that was a brilliant idea. So hang on. So is it 3-0 to James now?
It's 3-0 to James.
So what's no point going on, is there? I mean, no one can... Anyway.
Let's just see how badly we lost by the end.
Let's. Square Enix was next, of course. The first game they showed off was the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Now, Sean, what did you... Have you... You didn't see...
1 point, guys. Yes,
you did.
Finally.
But did you see this bit? Did you watch this?
I did. I've not watched the whole thing, but I have watched the Final Fantasy VII remake.
What do you think?
Bit. It looks fucking great.
It looks terrific.
It really does.
Yeah, really, really pleasantly surprised. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I did not expect to be excited for that at all, but that is it looks so good. Anyway, first game FF7 remake, and James said Avengers. That was incorrect. Sean, Final Fantasy VII remake. So Sean's first point on the board there. And I also said Avengers, like an idiot.
Yeah.
The last game was Avengers. James got these totally backwards because James ended his last game as FF7 remake. So if you'd just switched them, we could have taken 5 points. You could, but you don't. Sean's last game, he predicted Outriders. That obviously came up in the conference. It was just a CGI trailer, wasn't it, Sean? But
but it was and it wasn't last, crucially.
No,
so,
that's the main thing. And I said Final Fantasy 7, 6, Final Fantasy. Jeez, I'm an idiot. Final Fantasy 16. That's what I said.
Yeah.
So also no point there. James. Now, James's first prediction for this was as in like not first game, but just another one of his predictions is new Kingdom Hearts game. Now, that's obviously quite vague. They announced some Kingdom Hearts 3 DLC.
That doesn't count.
No, good. Yeah. I was worried you're going to argue
James
the case.
being all fucking humble, even though he's 3 points in the lead.
I don't need to do anything at this stage.
No, guys, no. You know what? I don't deserve a point for this one. Let's just.
I mean, if it had been another spin-off, like a 3DS game or something like that, I would have tried to acclaim it, but not DLC. That's going too far.
Yeah. Because at that point, hang on, shut up. Because you were saying like, because you didn't have any predictions, but then you were like, Kingdom Hearts, and I think you might have even said DLC, but then went new game. So I thought you were going to argue the case, but you didn't. Your other prediction was Octopath Traveler 2.
Yeah, didn't.
No. Now Sean's other prediction, or Sean's prediction is Dragon Quest Builders 3. Sadly, Sean, they only announced Dragon Quest Builders 2. So that is not a point in my book.
Announced? That's already out, isn't it?
No, apparently not.
Or there's been like a demo for it or something. I'm sure.
What was shown off was Dragon Quest Builders 2. Unfortunately, you said 3, and so we can't accept that.
Okay.
Is that fine, James?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. You also said Project Awakening. Was that shown, or I can't? What is that? Exactly?
that was a total shot in the dark. So I'm not surprised that wasn't shown. I wasn't even convinced that Square Enix were publishing it. So
nice. My first prediction: release date for the first episode of FF7. That's a point.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Final Fantasy 7. The release date. I'm taking that. And Nier Automata 2. That didn't happen. But I'm got a point on the board. That's the main thing. Nintendo, they started with a little known game called Super Smash Brothers. It's this new fighting game.
Never heard of it. Sounds rubbish.
None of us got that, and I'm thinking one of us should just jokingly say, "Oh, boy, Smash Brothers," but no. James, I
don't think any of us thought they would be.
Yeah, have the audacity to do it.
Yeah. Surely not. Yeah, exactly.
Imagine that. Anyway, James said Fire Emblem Three Houses. That was incorrect. Sean said Smartphone Mario Kart. Imagine that if they kicked off for that. It would have been horrendous. Yeah. And I said Animal Crossing, which I think is a good shout, but doesn't get a point.
But still incorrect.
Basically, the last game, it was a Breath of the Wild sequel. Let's see. Yeah. Let's see who guessed what, shall we? James,
we already know, don't we, Matt?
Well, let's drag out a bit longer. James, last game, Bayonetta 3. Great suggestion, James, but so wrong. So incredibly wrong, you idiot. Sean, last game, there was a long-ass Animal Crossing section. Yeah, close, very close.
But it wasn't last. Yeah.
Almost. Oh, what's Matt got here? A new 3D Zelda game. Let's go! That was... Oh, my God. When that came out, I was just I'm thinking about the game and mostly thinking about James saying, that will never happen. That will never happen.
Did I say it would never happen?
Yes. You said... I'm not going to put the audio in because it requires an edit. But you was like, you'll never do that, you idiot.
I certainly thought it was too soon for them to have anything to show.
You really ripped into me. So when they announced it, I couldn't believe it. No, I know I'm not going to win this, but I think that's worth almost 2 points. It's such an out of the... What's that?
That's rubbish. There's no way you have 2 points for that.
Such an out there prediction. It came true.
No, it isn't. It's not like, they're going to do a new Ice Climbers.
Both of your reactions, it'll never happen, Matt. You're an idiot.
But it's still, if you'd come out with they're going to do a new Mario. Well, yeah, at some point. But
fantastic prediction. But that's probably, I think, out of all the years we've done this show, arguably the greatest prediction, and it coming true. I think that's from nowhere. Bam, a Breath of the Wild sequel. It happened. I predicted it.
Yep.
Brilliant. Just one of the all-time classic TCGS moments. I think just right there. So, James, so prediction 1, long Animal Crossing section, date in November.
No, that didn't happen.
No.
That fucked it on the last detail.
So close.
The Animal Crossing section wasn't really long, was it?
No,
it was pretty. It was, if anything, too brief for me. I would have enjoyed that being a bit longer.
I was hoping for Super Smash Brothers style treatment for that. That we're going to get 25 minutes of excruciating detail, but
tell me how the fishing works.
Yeah,
and but again,
how
James,
many gyroids are there?
Yeah, and how they changed the design of the gyroids. Ever so slightly. It's like
again, James. I'm not sure if it's on the predictions pod or another one, but you said, we probably get delayed anyway.
Yeah,
I don't know why you didn't say Animal Crossing section and a delay. That would have been pretty out there. What do you think, James, about the news this week that Nintendo have said Rossetti isn't in the game? Is that what they've said? Or they said he's out of a job?
They said he's out of a job, but I'm sure that he'll still turn up because they've done this before with other characters like that, where it's he won't be doing that anymore, but he'll be in it somehow. It's I'd be very surprised if Rossetti isn't in it, which is a shame because he's one of my favourite characters of all time, from Nintendo.
He's genuinely terrifying if you upset him enough times.
It's
I've got nightmare.
I've got a couple of amiibo, but that's the one that I have sitting on my desk because
keeps you motivated.
Exactly. Yeah, I think it's fantastic. Yeah.
So he turned up if you turned off without saving. Is that,
yeah.
But also, what was brilliant about it, Matt, was that he got progressively more abusive.
I do remember him. Yeah,
he was great.
Didn't he start threatening you and stuff?
Well, this is the thing because they apparently that was the idea, but then they started to worry that it would scare people, scare kids that were playing, that it would just get too far.
Yeah,
brilliant.
But now they've said it auto saves, doesn't it? So
Yeah, it's autosave,
Yeah, annoying.
But not to the cloud, apparently, this time. Yeah, they won't do that. Yeah.
What? Naughty.
Yeah, well, because there's all that whole thing about people trying to manipulate the time and all that kind of thing.
Right.
Of course, yeah.
Okay.
Your second prediction, James, was Mario 3D World announced for Switch and available now. Sadly, that didn't happen.
No, that was wishful thinking, that was.
Yeah, very much. Your last one was Doug Bowser cringe-worthy performance. Actually, I think he crushed it.
I'd give James the point for this.
Yeah, it depends on it. But you're looking at it, and I don't think it was that great either. So
no, it wasn't cringeworthy. He did the snap. I thought it was. I would not describe it as cringeworthy at all.
I would. It's just you are the wrong Bowser. I'm the correct Bowser maybe, for this presentation.
Cringeworthy implies like, oh god, this is horrendous. I was like,
I mean, they had to get it out of the way, but it wasn't. Yeah, it did make me cringe a bit.
I don't think we'll see him on another one for a while.
But you don't.
No. He's no Reggie, is he?
No. But was Reggie on every direct? He wasn't, was he?
Yeah. No, was he?
No, he wasn't.
Every E3 one he was. Yeah.
Okay,
and the thing is, like, it's easy to be like, it's the first one he's done, like he needs to find his feet. It's like, no, that's quite a big salary he's got. I would expect him to hit the ground running just in terms of presenting a stupid video, personally.
I think he played it perfectly, and I like the joke they did, and I like the fact he did a finger snap, and I wouldn't say that's cringeworthy at all.
Well, either way, there's two of us and one of you, so I think I'll get a point for that.
Well, hang on, but it wasn't a cringeworthy. Sean, do you think it was cringeworthy or cheesy?
I thought it was pretty cringeworthy. Yeah.
So that's 4 points to me, Matt. Go on.
And I mean, if this was a closer contest, maybe I would argue differently. But as it is, there's no way either of us are going to beat James anyway. So,
good point. I guess we can't catch him, but we shouldn't let him thrash us. Sean,
it's not thrashing, is it? It's just 1 point or so.
Well, we shouldn't give no point. Okay, fine. Okay, just write down a point, Sean. Sean, your predictions were Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. Sadly, that didn't happen.
No.
Do we think it's going to happen now?
No. I'm not really. I think
if it hasn't by now, then yeah, probably not, and that's really shit.
What's sad is there's that, and there's also Matt's prediction that you're going to come to is Metroid Prime Trilogy, and I think that's probably that ship sailed as well now. It feels like, which is a shame.
Yeah,
because I mean, we'll have that discussion in a second, I guess. Yeah, but Mario Galaxy 1-2, it's I love the first one. I didn't actually play the second one because by that point I actually sold my Wii. But and obviously they were quite dependent on like the Wii pointer. So do you think it was just too much of a ball ache?
But isn't there? Everyone says there's like a fucking Nvidia Shield version which apparently works just fine. So yeah, can be done.
Yeah, it's a real shame. Anyway, Sean, you also said Dante and Smash Bros.
Yeah,
not the case. My first prediction: Metroid Prime Trilogy, and I think like with the Animal Crossing delay. Slot that in November, December. That's like an easy win.
Easy Christmas one.
They don't need to though, do they? Because there is a lot of stuff coming in that period.
Oh yeah. So, there is a fuckload around August, September, but I don't know. I mean, I still think this is definitely going to happen. I think this will happen next year.
Yeah,
I think that sort of thing will happen when they run out of stuff, and they don't seem to be in that state this time around.
No. I mean, like this is the perfect thing in the run up to the new game. And if the new game is like 3 years away or 4 years away, I guess I don't need to. But if it comes out late 2021, then I can fully see this coming out. Because for a lot of people, they never played a Metroid game because it's like what the last one was. I guess it was like someone like 3DS. I guess, but I think like a proper 3D Metroid game. Some people may have never even played it and don't even know who or what Samus is. So. Getting this out, and if it looks good and plays well on Switch, I think this would be perfect. Like the lead up to get the Metroid universe into people's minds and remind them or excite them for the new game. So it's definitely going to happen. It's a shame it wasn't this year. And my last prediction was a new Pikmin game announced. That I mean, what's happening with that series now?
Dormant, God knows. So they did that 2D platformer, didn't they, for the 3DS?
Yeah.
Which apparently was all right. No, but yeah, that was a thing. Well, I was thinking, am I thinking of Chibi Robo? It was both of them, wasn't it?
No, there was. That was the last one, wasn't it? It was the 3DS one.
Yeah.
But again, that felt like it was released on the wrong platform. At that stage, it's in the same way that I really wish
that the Wii U.
Yeah, well, I wish they'd done the same with the Samus Returns remake they made. Like, it's a shame that came out on 3DS as well because I'd like to have played that. But
the thing is, at this point, like any Nintendo property that comes out on Switch, it seems like they all sell over 1 million. Like even like the ones you think, that isn't a great game, they still do really well. And like, I'm sure Mario Tennis sold really well, and that was like widely So no, it's all right. It's not great. Like,
fine. Yeah.
So surely these things they don't want to turn out money, and these things are surely it's easy
Free
money
money,
to make.
yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, like, none of us this year predicted F-Zero. I guess we're all just like, okay, that's not happening. I guess, which is sad. So that's our predictions done. Do you want to read out the scores, Sean?
I mean, I think everyone already knows how this has gone. We can last place with one entire point is me, Sean. Second place with 2 points, Matthew Murray.
It's my best ever performance, best ever result.
And with a whopping 4 points, it is James Farley. Who's this year's Nostradamus.
Congratulations, James. Have you won previously, or has it always been you or Dave? Has it been Dave mostly, or
I think I've
won one or two, but only 3. Don't sound so surprised, James.
What, you?
Well, no, I wouldn't be surprised if you won, Sean. Matt, I really would be surprised because
James, next year's my year. When
I thought you were going to get like a UK Eurovision, Matt, like just the 0 points all the time.
Well, I wasn't last, James. Have that chat to Sean, not me. I mean,
you know, I'm spending so
wild. Anyway, I mean, next year when they announce the Metroid Prime trilogy for Switch and a Splinter Cell, it's Point C.
You're just going to do the same predictions every year forever now?
Again.
It's just the system, yeah.
Again.
Okay.
I mean, what I did was, in the lead up to these, I'm like, I'll go back to my Google Docs, and I looked at my 2017 predictions. I'm like, most of these could work for this year.
These are all great ideas.
Yeah, actually, I mean, I might actually total up the points after this and say, fuck, if I used my 2017 predictions, I would have won. But anyway, that's it for predictions. Congratulations, James. You've won.
Do I get anything?
No, I sort of wish I had got something sorted, so no, not this year. Next year.
Yeah, maybe.
Next year I'll get a massive trophy for me.
Let's go through all that for nothing. Anyway.
Yep,
what, you're pride? The listeners probably think you're great.
No,
not that. Right, news, James. News.
Right, James, I've been thinking a lot about seahorses lately. You know how seahorses, in order to reproduce, it's actually the female who impregnates the male, like she sort of gives him the eggs, and then the male fertilizes them and carries them, and then gives birth to them. And I've been thinking about how that's actually a lot like what you do, in that you inject us with your eggs, which are the news items every week, and then they sort of gestate within us, and then turn into something beautiful, like our incredibly insightful opinions and scintillating chat, which we then give birth to by spraying them out. So yeah, that's just something I've been thinking about.
So you want me to impregnate you, Sean?
Yes, please.
Okay. That's what 1 week off the internet does to you.
No access to Pornhub, mate.
Yeah, like 1 week off and suddenly gone extreme.
Okay, here come the eggs. The first story we've got is the first story we got is...
No, I'm sorry, because that would have been funnier if we hadn't laughed and we'd just moved on, and I feel like we've reduced it somewhat. Sorry, go on.
I mean, Sean, I've got history. I can edit out laughter.
Oh, that's true.
I'll have a listen.
It's up to you, mate.
It's certainly a possible episode title. I'll say that much.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, prepare to spray this.
Don't give me another one.
Okay, so Destiny 2 Stadia players can only play with other Stadia players at launch. So,
I mean, that's quite funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because, but when's launch? Because obviously
which launch?
This is funny in context of the fact that, one of the new announcements for Destiny 2 when they did this vidoc was that, so cross-saving is going to be a thing. Oh, but then it says, can only play with other Stadia players at launch.
Yeah.
So this will be... Sean, that's not too bad.
Sean, did you watch the Stadia thing at all?
I didn't, no.
Oh, okay.
Should I?
Well, I mean...
if you like Phil Harrison, then you probably should.
Okay.
Probably if you like gaming, you should. No, but... Okay, cool. Anyway, only other Stadia players. Well, I mean...
That's not great, though, is it? Because it means... I mean...
There's not going to be many people to play with.
Well, that's the problem, isn't it?
No, it's pretty hard to do a raid.
Yeah. I mean, Matt, you'll be on there. So
yeah, I'll be on there.
Claim your username. It's
definitely. I mean, I pre-ordered that, and I'm like, afterwards, I'm like, well, this is stupid. I'll almost certainly cancel. But I've
you're not going to cancel.
I'm not going to cancel it. I read some positive reports out of E3, and I'm like, you know what? I'll bloody keep it. You know what? Why not? I get to say my name. You know, that's the important thing. And I get to play Destiny 2 with the other 6 people on Stadia. So that's cool. That's cool. Hit me up if you're listening. Yeah.
So
I mean, yeah, this ain't great.
So Bungie explained that it's because Stadia is its own ecosystem, just like the other consoles, and there's no technical reason for not doing this yet. But it's just that they said that they're focusing this year on cross saves as being their thing. So that's understandable. Okay. That's understandable.
Definitely, yeah.
I mean, the only thing that's a bit weird about it is it's because I guess a lot of people... Well, no, a lot of people won't be playing this through their PC, will they, Stadia? They'll be playing through their TVs, through those Chromecasts. But I was going to say they're going to be excluded from the wider PC community, but I guess that doesn't really matter. But yeah, there just won't be anybody to play with, which is a bit annoying.
I mean, this wasn't in the news, but have you also seen today they've... people have actually uncovered that Destiny 2 has 1 million daily active users and 6 million monthly active users.
Okay.
Which sounds good? Well, it sounds like good numbers. Obviously, Fortnite is ridiculous, but this is the first time that I've actually seen any sort of numbers being shown or announced or found about Destiny 2 at all. And everyone, loads of people actually, this is really good, and I think a lot of people are putting it down to the stuff I've been doing over the last few months. And also the new is it Season of Opulence or whatever it is?
Yeah.
So have you gone back to it yet, Sean? Or
I have.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I mean that sounds right. 6 million, 1 million daily, 6 million monthly. It sounds like it's doing well, but
again, and a lot of people like to go, Destiny's dead. It's a dead game. No, it's not. It's fine.
No, because it's going from strength to strength.
Yep.
Okay. There's an Anthem joke there somewhere, but yeah, I'm not sure. Shenmue 3 on PC is now an Epic Games Store exclusive, and backers aren't happy about this.
Yeah, I can't believe we failed to mention this during the PC gaming show.
Yeah, I didn't know it happened. I'd walked out the room by that point because I
was shouting. It's like Shenmue now. I think I even misspelled it. I was so excited. I was like, Shenmue now, get it. It's like there's a trailer.
Yeah, I did see that. The trailer was quite good. I thought it wasn't. It looked better than I thought it was going to, so that was kind of good. But so what's happened with this is that EaseNet have insisted that they're listening to fan feedback about this, but then loads of people obviously went on the Kickstarter page and started to try and demand refunds because they're angry. But then Deep Silver, who are publishing it, have said that they're not going to give any refunds, so that's obviously not gone down very well. But then. Yeah. EaseNet have now said that they're going to consider the situation further, but then only after E3's finished. And so...
the statement was basically just let us get back to the office.
Yeah, we're bloody busy.
We're all in LA and we're out of our faces. Let us get...
Yeah, let's enjoy this week, can we, please?
Yeah.
I'm out of office is on. I'm not going to go into my inbox now.
I mean, I can understand people being upset about this, but also... part of me is if you're a Shenmue fan and you're excited about Shenmue 3 happening, this is a relatively minor issue, surely. Considering this game supposedly wasn't even happening for such a long time, and it's still looking a little bit dicey now. I'm sure it's going to come out, but I don't know what it's going to be like.
There's also more with this, because then it turned out, like Yu Suzuki said this week, that Shenmue 3 will mark the series' halfway point. And then
fuck!
And that's when you're like, for fuck's.
Jesus! So we're not going to kill Landy at the end?
Probably not. Yeah,
presumably.
Did you say 40% of Ryo's story?
Yeah, he said it was about halfway. So that's really a bit. I mean,
look out for a new Kickstarter in 2021.
Yeah. So that's super annoying. But I guess people are annoyed that they're going to have to click a different icon on their desktop or whatever to play it.
It's a problem. It's a real problem.
I know people don't like Epic Game Store, but this game, it's not it's really multiplayer focused. So there's no friends lists or no other this.
So it's not like you're splintering the community or anything. It's just
out of a lot of games. This one's probably matters the least that it's on their platform. It doesn't have all the same things. I mean, I know people have their issues with Epic Game Store, but. Yeah,
it's weird, isn't it? Because they're just buying all these exclusives like Epic, but then it just seems to annoy everybody. But then it must still be working for them because people still have to go through it because they're not
absolutely. I think if most people were more aware of how precarious the existence of a third-party game developer is,
they'd
be a bit more understanding. But I don't know.
Yeah, developers need they're trying to get more money and like the whole revenue split thing. It's why people are doing it, I guess.
Yeah,
and obviously Epic Games will get Epic giving them loads of money for the exclusive as well.
Yeah, that'll help.
Okay, we got some good news next. This is some good news related to Fallout 76.
Whoa!
Yeah, so the canvas bags have arrived.
Oh shit! Are they actually canvas now?
Well, apparently yes. I mean, this is 7 months after Fallout 76 came out. They finally delivered the canvas bags to the people who paid £180. And so this was after the anger where like Bethesda said that they were going to start manufacturing replacements, and that was in December 2018. But it seems that people who have received the replacements seem very happy with them. They said they are excellent quality. So that's good.
I'm looking at the picture now. It still looks pretty flimsy to me.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
It's all in the feel shot. It's like you got to feel the fabric, and then you'll know it's high quality.
Yeah, I guess so. I know. So there's another picture further down that looks a bit more convincing. But that sort of side by side one I don't know. It doesn't look amazing, does it?
Yeah, the side by side one in this Eurogamer piece looks like a bag for life.
Yeah.
A bad one, but yeah, the other picture looked nice. I mean, everyone seems quite happy. I mean, but people seem quite happy generally for 76. Generally, I mean, I think that's all the vibe I'm getting. But
I mean, Fallout fans will eat a lot of shit.
Yeah,
to be fair.
I wonder how many people in this article are like the whooping guy. Maybe all the whooping guys, various results.
I'm sure that when he received his canvas bag, he whooped. When that happened,
big time,
definitely.
Yep.
So obviously, Fallout 76, James at the time, you had a big old laugh. I mean, I think everyone had a big old laugh about it. But now you're like, some good news about Fallout 76. How many months do you think it's going to be until we get a positive Anthem story?
When EA does something positive with Anthem, there'll be a positive story.
Say it's entirely down to
Well, how about that month they topped the NPD sales figures and you didn't mention it?
That was ages ago, Matt.
Well, I think.
How's the game doing now?
Well, I don't know, but you said when you do something positive, they topped the NPD sales figures. You didn't mention it. So
that's not positive, though. That's
sales?
Like
doing really good in sales. That does sound positive.
Yeah, despite being shit. That's not good.
They did really well for 1 week, and then that was it. And then
we can't use that because it's not negative. So James failed to mention the 1 week. James did not mention Anthem for like a 12-week period. Was a week they got like number one in the sales figures. Oh, I won't mention that.
But then after that, there was nothing, was there? And now it turns out no one's playing it. And
there's a patch, guys. I've got to mention it in the news stories. I'm not going to mention the fact anyway.
When there's some good news, Matt, I will mention it.
I mean, the sales figures.
Stop being mean about Matt's girlfriend.
Yeah, she's great. Actually, you don't even know her.
She goes to another school. Anyway,
yeah, she's really hot. It's like she's so cool. She's got a Vauxhall Nova. That's not. Yeah. Well, back in school, if you had a Vauxhall Nova, it's like a pretty cool thing. I realise it's 2019 now.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Vauxhall Novas. Anyway, whatever.
Scarlet is not going to be Microsoft's last console.
Come on!
Is that news? Did anyone think it was going to be their last console?
I don't know. Some people that are really high on the streaming thing, I mean, seem to think so. But Phil Spencer was speaking with Giant Bomb, and he said that despite it seeing that streaming may be the future, they're not planning on Scarlet being the last console. But then he did say that anything they do further than this is going to have to be something like sort of meaningfully different. And he mentioned that Xbox One X was something meaningfully different, even in that it wasn't really crap. I think was what he meant by that, compared with the original release.
It is a change, for sure.
But he said that he didn't think that streaming is going to become the norm in the sort of the short to medium term. It's going to take probably longer than that, and I think he's right. On, with that.
Yeah.
I haven't watched that. I mean, like he does his interview on Giant Bomb's like night shows at E3 every year, and they're always excellent. I mean, I've said before, I think it seems like a down to earth guy. Have you two watched this one yet?
No.
Yeah, it always seems like a really sort of off the cuff, and it's not a PR like with a PR person in the corner of the room type interview. But we need to watch this because big fan.
Okay, some other good news, which is that Super Mario Maker 2 is probably going to have the online matchmaking with friends now.
Hey!
So people were moaning about this, that it wasn't going to happen, and it seems they're adding it. But it's going to be in a future update, so it's not going to be from launch. So yeah, hopefully that will actually still happen. Still no amiibo support though. There's not anything said about that, so I guess that's good.
Well, that's a surprise, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a shame it's not until a future update, but whatever. That's out soon, isn't it? That's like next week.
Yeah, it's really soon. Yeah, I cannot wait. It's
terrifying.
It's out. 28th of June. Wow. Are you day one then for that game?
Yeah, I'm definitely getting it because
I think I might be. Yeah,
Ash is super excited. It's good. Okay, and the last story is so this is calling back to what we were talking about earlier with Ubisoft being concerned about not seeming to be political ever.
Oh yeah.
And so what this was that this was on Resetera, like the forum, where they'd noticed that on Ubisoft's Facebook page, they'd placed an advert for Watch Dogs Legion in both English and Chinese. And the picture has a load of people in masks holding umbrellas. But then the text reads that the city, which obviously in this case is London, is facing its downfall and that people have got to stand together to take back the city. And this obviously has gone down badly in mainland China because at the moment we've got protests, and they're not riots, but there's big protests going on in Hong Kong at the moment because of an extradition treaty that they're trying to bring in, which is awful. Whereby people can be like extradited to the mainland for trial.
Okay.
And there's all these safeguards supposedly built in, like saying things like, we won't do this to people who have different political opinions. But the thing is, I mean, as with most authoritarian regimes, whenever they arrest people, they don't arrest them for political reasons. They use another excuse. So
they find something else,
So basically anybody can be sort of taken. So there's been really big protests going on. I mean, there's reports of like over 1 million people. The Hong Kong police have been like beating people and stuff and pepper spraying. I mean, they've been like shooting like rubber bullets and the whole thing. So, but then on the mainland, they're not really seeing this in the same way because it's all like heavily censored. So when this post went up, there was the usual calls from Chinese users for like having like boycotts and how they ought to fire the community manager and like saying, this is terrible, how can you say this, the whole thing. But then, as I said, it's mostly because what's going on in Hong Kong is being like heavily censored by Chinese media, and instead what they're doing is they have like approved articles that are coming out which then focus on police being attacked by protesters, to just say it's all like unruly, like mobs and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, what was quite interesting though, as they had in this forum thread, was that there were like a lot of Chinese users that were just saying like, you're overthinking this, like you're seeing a connection here that Ubisoft obviously don't mean this. This is not like a connection with what's going on now, but also people get worked up. But nevertheless, Ubisoft released the following statement. They said, a post promoting Watch Dogs Legion, our newest fictional video game based in London City, and announced at E3... What do you got, London City? Announced at E3 was recently shared and may have been misinterpreted due to our omission of the setting being in London. This was never our intention, and we apologise for the confusion. Because the other thing was that the picture they had like protesters holding umbrellas, so that like goes back to the Occupy movement from like a couple of years ago, where it was the umbrella protests. So that's why people had that. But again, this is Ubisoft trying to have it both ways. They're trying to sort of like use like real world sort of things, but then also as soon as people start to question it, they get scared and so
trying to use like real world evocative imagery and then being like, oh, what? That's still a sensitive thing. Whoops.
It's kind of spineless and pathetic, but But there you go. But I thought that was an interesting story. It's it's Ubisoft again apologising for.
I mean, what interests me is like, are they doing this on purpose? Like, have they got the walk back already ready to go?
Nah, almost certainly
when they first posted. Do you know what I mean?
I think in all this case, this sort of thing because they think, well, hang on, we could do this, and they were like, oh, sorry, but actually, it's going to get people talking about it.
No, because the shitstorm that it would create in like mainland China would not be worth it. Because also you're going to end up like there would be like boycotts going on, and you'd like all that. They always do that. It's
right.
Yeah. So it's really it's not with China with a lot of those sorts of things. That old idea of like bad news is good news and all that kind of thing. Like it doesn't work there in that way at all because
it's a bit convenient, though, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. How do you mean?
Well, I mean, like obviously this happening and like it all seems like it's almost like, oh, sorry.
Yeah, I really think it is just a case of it's kind of unintentional. It's completely unintentional in this case.
Either way, it got us talking about it because no one would talk about Legion in other ways, would they?
Mm-hmm.
Job done.
Okay, so what we're doing
is that it? What we're doing now? We're going to skip what we've been playing because I don't think any of us have got much news to talk about, and then we'll just have a bumper week next week. So for those of you, So for those of you who don't enjoy the What You've Been Playing segment, good news this week, shit next week.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that by then I will have finished Days Gone, which is the longest video game of all time. It's insane. But, yeah.
I do want to go back to that. I feel like anyway, we'll cover it next week.
Yeah. So are we just going to do emails and then tweets?
Get on with emails. Yeah, James. That's
do it, mate.
Okay, if you want to email us, it's podcast@thecomputergameshow.com. Anthony Mulhockland has written in, and he says, I've been listening to you a lot for years, since the early Play Radio days, and finally decided to have a go myself. Me and a couple of buddies have been getting together each week to discuss movies. We're 11 episodes in so far and really enjoying it. So I have 2 questions. Do you have any advice for someone just starting out, especially one that's trying to grow an audience from nothing? And 2, what's the best / worst part about doing the show?
I mean, in terms of advice, personally, I got where I am by just doing it and being rubbish for a long time and eventually just getting enough practice that, eventually I was okay at it. It is different because obviously when you're doing like a games podcast, you sort of, when I started sort of 12, 13 years ago, it was like I knew other people who were at the time also like entirely happy to do things for free. And then as time went on, some of us got like a freelance career together or, like Joe Screbbles ended up at Future and then IGN. And you sort of, and that sort of elevates you. So I've just been lucky, I think, in terms of like the people I've met and how that sort of, helped.
Yeah, I think with Joe, he's so lucky. He's worked his way up to IGN, but ultimately he's worked his way into like our E3 shows. So I'm so happy for him. He's done so well, to get where he's
finally
got to
made
today.
it.
Well done, Joe. Well
done. So it was a long time of just putting a podcast out for like not many people at all. But you've just, as long as you're doing it because you enjoy it, at the end of the day, like you'll eventually do all right. And even if you don't, who cares? Because your love for it has been built on something else to begin with. So best and worst part about doing it. Best is just. Obviously, I fucking enjoy it. Like it's like I don't think I'm alone in saying like we don't get a massive amount of opportunities to socialize these days, being parents and what have you. Mm-hmm. But even prior to that, it's just good fun. And like I know, we've all talked about like when we've gone out on a limb and recommended something that's a bit off the beaten path, but we've really enjoyed it and we've talked about it, and then people get in touch saying they checked it out because we talked about it and they really like it. That is
I agree with that.
That is the best feeling. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Worst part. Coming up with those fucking news intros.
Just brought that yourself, Sean.
Again, it's just, I don't know, finding the time, I guess. But then I think it helps that we are quite like strict with when we record these. I think just having a bit of a regimen sort of really helps. Like consistency is massive in terms of building an audience as well. Like if you're only putting an episode out like once every month or whatever, people unfortunately like you will just sort of disappear off people's whatever podcast app they use. Like it being like a fairly constant presence is quite a big thing, I think. So sometimes sticking to that can be hard work, but it's paid off, literally, in our case. So 12 years in podcasting and finally getting paid for it. So
it all works out.
Yeah.
What are you, James?
I don't know. What Sean just said about the best thing, I'd agree with that. I remember I think sometimes when you find something that you do feel like quite passionately about or find really interesting, like a while ago, like there was Detention that I really found great, and then talking about that, and then other people played it, and then message you and stuff. That was really cool. I enjoyed that. Mm-hmm. The worst part probably finishing late. That really annoys me.
We're on course, James. We're fine. Tonight's going to be okay.
It's 10:15. That's not late, so it's not too bad.
It's not late.
Yeah,
no, near late.
It's just been a long day, It's So that's maybe the worst thing is sometimes like it's finding time also to play games and stuff like that, so you've got enough to talk about and things like that. That can be a bit difficult sometimes, I think.
Like sometimes, people get in touch like, oh, you talked about this and you said you really liked it a few weeks ago and you've not mentioned it since. Does that mean it is actually shit now? And it's like, no, it just means I've got to play other stuff.
Yeah.
to talk about, and and perfectly excellent games can just get left by the wayside sometimes. But
there is that sort of feeling of like, you've got to play new stuff all the time, so you've got stuff to talk about. But more recently, I've been trying not to do that so much, and just think I really want to just play. Because I think sometimes you just think you play what you want to play, because then like whatever passion or however you feel about something should come across anyway.
True, yeah, it's all well and good talking about new games, but if it's all just new games that you don't really give a shit about,
if it's all just surface, it's not. That's no good. Saying that, I'm not going to talk about Days Gone again, like because that's been ridiculous.
Well, surely you are if you finish it next week.
Well, hopefully, yeah. I mean, I'm about 60 hours in, so it should be. It's ridiculous, but yeah.
Tremendous. What about you, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, the worst part is definitely just like finding enough time to play enough games. And I feel like I'm constantly like, that's why I've had things leveled to me, rightly so. I'd play 2 hours of a game and move on, just because I don't get much time, and also I put 2 hours in to talk about on the pod, and I have to find something else. But like, I've got so many games I've like started. I want to go back to Outer Wilds. I do want to go back to Days Gone. I've got loads of things I just want. I want to have like a week or two off work and just like play as much as I can, but it's just tough to find time. But I think that's on me. I mean, the best thing is like there's so many best things. I mean, there isn't really. There's no negative part about this. I mean, I just mentioned I think about finding enough time, but that's. I don't know. I think if I wasn't doing a pod, I'd still probably not find enough time to play games. But I mean, I guess. There are so many best things about doing this, but I mean, I've had podcasts where I've absolutely loved or been excited for like a Wednesday because I know a certain pod is out, and I'm like psyched for it to download, and like that will get me through a bad time. If I need a laugh or need to like listen to a show I've listened to for years and years and years. I mean, there's been so many great podcasts over the years, and like that has like it's just been like a real like great like support network. And if we can bring that to just one person. And I get a feeling we're doing that for a fair few people. So like to be like a bit of a saviour or a bit of a break from the norm and to help people is awesome. But there are so many amazing things. I mean, I love doing the podcast every week and like preparing for it and doing like stuff on Twitter and the Twitch stuff. And I think we built up an amazing community. It's amazing seeing people come back to each stream, or see new people join streams when we're doing that, or new people saying I've just found your podcast, and It's amazing. There wasn't really a bad point. In terms of advice just starting out, I mean, you're already doing it, which is often the hardest thing. I mean, when I was first started doing pods, like just recording your voice and listening to it was just the worst thing ever. Still not a huge fan of it now, to be perfectly honest. But you've actually started, so already you're way ahead than I was at this point. Like, and I was going to say, well, if you haven't started, just keep recording them, and eventually you'll feel comfortable enough to release them. But you're already doing it. Just keep doing that. But I guess ultimately just do something that you love, because if you love doing it and you're happy with the content you're putting out, chances are there will be other people doing it too. Like, don't necessarily just chop and change because you think it's like a trend or you think this, that, and the other. If you and the people you're doing it with are enjoying it and you think it's good, there will be other people out there who think the same. And it can take a long time to get a big audience or a short time, but just keep doing it and you'll get there. But it's not really about big audience. It's about putting out something you're proud of and that you enjoy doing.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think that's probably about it.
Okay. Next is from Jordan Harrison. He says, I'd love to know if it's just me, but I rarely complete a game. For every 3 games I buy, I probably complete 1. I maybe got 70 to 80% through most of the time, but then life gets in the way. Don't pick it up for a while, and then something else is out, and I'm prone to jumping on hype trains. And got in brackets, Matt might remember how I was around the Switch Breath of the Wild release when we used to work together. So I just want to get my hands on it ASAP, or if there's a sale on and a game I fancied playing is only a tenner. I struggle to return to games after a week also. I want to play it for some reason. I feel like I need to start again. I have no idea why. Maybe I feel like the story won't be as fresh in my mind. I probably should keep a journal. The issue is, I now have a huge backlog, and I feel like really I need to complete some games before I buy any more, an issue I often have around E3. This year I've even gone as far as creating a Kanban board with the games I haven't completed yet. I'm hoping this might stop me from spending for a while and actually play the games I've got through to completion. Is this over the top? Do I have a problem? Would be interesting to hear your thoughts.
I think that's pretty common, to be honest.
Everyone has
I've done similar in the past.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I've had like lists of, okay, I've started this, or like this is... I do have a list now of like, okay, I need to play this or finish it, whatever.
Is Night in the Woods still on that list?
Yeah. Well, that's still on my plate. It's a different list. It's the playlist. But But yeah, but the whole backlog thing, like I gave up that backlog thing a long time ago because it'll be in my head all day and I can't think about it. If I do, I'll never get out of the house, and I don't have enough time to like dedicate parts of my brain to like worrying about every game I haven't finished or haven't done enough in. It would just kill me. So now, but if I do have a backlog of sorts, what I always do is I just get rid of that for January 1st. So basically my backlogs don't last longer than the rest of the year. And if I haven't finished it by the end of the year, I basically start again. And I mean, I don't really do backlogs anymore, but I'm like, okay, if I think, I want to get this done, if it's not done, so I mean, maybe like January might be quiet, but basically after that, it's like, it's done. And I will just not worry about that stuff anymore.
I wonder when I will cross the line, and I may already have, of owning enough games that, like, if I never bought another one ever again, would I have enough to keep me occupied until I die?
I think I'm definitely at that stage.
I think I'm pretty close.
Yeah, which is terrifying because, like, already think of the the amount of games I'll buy for the next sort of fingers crossed 50 years. Yeah, it's just absolutely obscene, really. I mean, and obviously, like the sad answer is that unfortunately, people are very good at marketing these things to us. Beyond our own enthusiasm, like, yeah, I think people who play video games are a very easy set of people to sell things to.
Yeah, but everyone wants like the new. I mean, a lot of people want the newest and greatest things. I mean, not everyone, but everyone's. If they're not buying it, they're certainly not reading about it. But I think like this was bad enough a few years ago, but now we have things like Games of Gold and PlayStation Plus and Game Pass and Humble Monthlies and free games on Twitch, free games on Discord. Like it was bad enough when we're like, oh, there's loads of games I want to buy, but now you can stand still for a week and you've been sent another 5 or 10 games. Like the backlogs now are just impossible to get through, I think. So you sort of have to detach yourself from backlogs.
Yeah, like for a while I had a system of like, right, I'm not allowed to buy a game until I finish 2, or at least, or not necessarily finish, but like confirm that I am done with, a game. And that was really good, and I should probably do that again because things are once again getting out of control. That's a good system.
See, for a long time, especially with stuff like Xbox Live Gold and like PlayStation Plus, you get all those games. I always felt like, I should play these because I'm getting these, but now. Yeah, it's really at the stage. I mean, the quality's not that great anyway, but I'm just sort of thinking, unless it's something I definitely want to play, I don't care. Yeah. It's fine. Yeah, just ignore it.
Yeah, but I like I said a moment ago, I said I don't really do backlogs, but right now I've got loads of my plate that I really want to get through. Like I've got Cadence of Hyrule. I've got out on Friday. I want to play that. I do want to get through Days Gone, but that's like a 60 fucking hour game. But I do want to play it because I have been enjoying it.
You
still.
are never going to finish that game.
I know, and that's what people said. Okay. That's what makes me want to do it. But I've been enjoying everything I've done. But time, Outer Wilds.
It's great. It's very good. I mean, I've enjoyed it a lot, but it is really, really long. I know.
It's just, but it's like Outer Worlds, Days Gone, Cadence of Hyrule, like other stuff we've got as well. Like we'll mention next week. But it's just, and that's just now. Like,
yep.
And then like, Final Fantasy VII looks fantastic. Oh, come on! It's like, what am I to quit my job and have like time? I don't know. It's annoying because there's so many good games. And when it comes to the end of the year, where you want to have all these games done or played or ideally finished because of like the Game of the Year discussion. That's basically why I bombed through Red Dead 2 last year. Because I'm like, if I didn't do this way, I'm basically not going to get it done, and I want to get it done before the Game of the Year show. But then so many games come out in October, November. You're like, fuck, I've got like just like 4 or 5 big games I've got to get done. I don't have to get done, but I want to get done. It's a stress really, but I do recommend the whole like ditching the backlog, so just have it per calendar year because otherwise it will send you crazy.
Yeah. Cool. Anything else, James?
Yeah.
Come on, James.
There's a Destiny one. I think
it's only brief. Go on.
It's a quick one.
No, there's 2 Destiny ones, and they're.
The other one's not really a Destiny one.
Is it not?
Just get on with it.
Okay. Gareth Stewart has written and he says, "Hi guys, just a quick one today. Will Sean and James have a good at the new raid? No, it should be look at the new raid once it's out with some of the clan members. Really enjoyed watching the last one you did, and it gave me the kick up the arse to be more vocal on Discord and even get around to trying the raid out myself."
I mean, I'd be up for it, but I mean, in terms of levels, you'll be way behind, I think, James.
Yeah,
I mean, you should catch up because it's been really good. The new stuff's really cool. We'll talk about it next week. But time, as we've discussed.
See, I need to get back on that, but then, as I said, I want to finish Days Gone, but then I just realised that Judgment is out, next week.
And Mario Maker.
Mario Maker, I want to play Judgment. Yeah.
Here comes that battle
Okay, last one. This is from Rob Adams. He says, "Hi, a long-time listener and been meaning to write in for ages. Felt compelled to on hearing Sean's very similar problem to mine of not using all the guns in a game because of pulling the bloody R2 a million times. I ended up buying the Strike Pack FPS Dominator, in my case for Killing Floor 2, Vermintide 2, and Into the Gungeon. After a bit of fiddling around, it makes the R2 fully auto-fire and is a godsend, as I can now use guns I would normally just ignore. It does make games much more enjoyable. But note it has to be plugged into the PS4 via a very long cable to reach across the lounge. But I read lots of negative things, presumably from young people who have never had wired controllers. The recoil kickback on some guns make the autofire not work, as after 2 shots you are pointing up. It's not as perfect as the old SNES pads with the autofire options for every button, but it's a lifesaver for any game you can bind the trigger to R2 and not have to worry about your finger falling off. I wish all devs would just make guns fire when holding the button. It's such a massive quality of life improvement."
I've heard that's really interesting. I suppose it's not really a question, is it? No. But no, I was just interested to hear about that because it's one of those things that, obviously the Strike Pack FPS Dominator sounds like a performance thing, but actually it can just be a quality of life improvement, or if you're having a bad time with your fingers, that's like a really interesting sort of accessibility feature. So
back in the day, loads of pads had auto-fire, didn't they?
They did. That was mainly just for cheating at Street Fighter 2.
Yeah.
I'll play as Blanca. But I just thought it was interesting.
I'll tell you what.
Cheers, Rob.
I'm worried about my thumbs.
Are they fucked?
Recently, they're really hurting a lot, actually, a lot of the time, and I'm a bit worried about that because they don't seem to be getting better. Because I haven't played anything for a couple of days, but they still hurt. And
really? See, mine have never hurt. I've got the Nintendo thumb click. Like occasionally, my thumb just feels a bit like it's about to lock up, and it just clicks.
Yeah.
But that's about it for me, which I can live with.
Yeah, I've started noticing that I'm drastically slower in texting, and I thought it was when I fell off my skateboard that time, or hit by that car, and I was like, and I cut my hand up, and I was like, well, I noticed it really around then. I was like, well, maybe I just fucked up some nerves when I fell off my board, but I don't know, it might be an age thing. It's
getting old, mate.
Oh, bloody
can't work a fucking phone anymore. That's it.
I mean, I might be buying games when I'm 80, but I won't be playing them. So just stacking up the boxes in the old people's home.
Yep, that's all we're good for.
Right, is that it, James?
Yeah, that's all.
Sweet. Let's go on to the end bit and get the hell out of here. Streaming. We're way more into a regular schedule now. Like weddings are over, E3's over. Hopefully back to a bit more to normality. On Fridays, James is back streaming Quantum Break. Is that correct, James?
For the moment, yeah.
You started Quantum Break on Friday, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
Initial quick thoughts on that game?
It seems to be very average so far. So I don't know what kind of a stream this is going to be.
It might not be a full series, but James is certainly starting with Quantum Break, maybe. Mm-hmm. I mean, but you said, I think you might have said at the start of the stream, I think you did say at the start of the stream, it's not a massively long game, it might only be a couple of weeks. So what is it a 2-hour game? I don't think it's a 2-hour game, is it?
No, it's about a 10-hour game. So it's not It's not a Deadly Premonition, which felt like it was never going to end.
Yeah.
So,
James there, famous for his 5-hour streams. He's anyway, regardless. But do you think you'll at least give it one more go?
Yeah. I'll play it again on Friday.
Okay, cool. When on Friday
that's
at 9.
The other problem though is it's got those TV episodes. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to sit there and watch the TV episodes.
You should do that. It'd be brilliant. Like if anyone wants to watch Quantum Break TV show, it's like a shared cinema experience with James Friday nights from 9,
making sarcastic comments that aren't funny. So it's I don't know.
That sounds alright. Aren't you due to watch an episode on Friday?
Yes, that's what I'm supposed to be doing. The first thing.
How long are the episodes? Do you know?
I don't know, but I'm hoping they're not very long because otherwise that could get quite awkward.
I hope they're an hour. That'd be amazing. Anyway, that's Friday. Sunday, I'll be definitely back this Sunday night from 8:30 from Bloodborne Sundays. It's been like 2 or 3 weeks since I last played it, so I can't wait to get back. Hopefully I haven't forgotten the controls. And then Tuesdays, this Tuesday from 9, Sean's back for Play by the Bell, streaming an indie game, hopefully, or indie games.
Yeah.
if you have, they're all at twitch.tv/The Computer Game Show. Get over there, follow us, and set notifications so when we go live, you'll know. If you've got Amazon Prime, you also have Twitch Prime, and with that, you have 1 free subscription a month. Think about going over there and giving us your free sub. It makes a huge difference, and we really appreciate it, and it enables Sean to buy more cables.
Yeah, I need more wires, lads. Come on.
Massively important. But if you want to support us a little bit more, we've got a Patreon. It's at patreon.com/TCGS. We've got a number of different tiers. The money goes into making us feel nice and also improving the show and doing as much as we can. Right now, so Star Wars is already out. That was like a stretch goal. So if you haven't already found Star Calls, Dave's watching Star Wars films for the first time with James there as support. That's available on all podcast services, so go and find and download Star Calls. And
it's fucking great, by the way.
It's so good. The most recent one, the 4th episode, that's not episode 4, but the 4th episode is out this week, and in which Dave has seen Return of the Jedi, and it's fucking brilliant. So yeah, go and download and find Star Wars if you haven't already. But back to the Patreon stuff specifically, we've released like 2 of our monthly bonus shows already. We do that at the first week of the month. If you back us at, I think that's like the $5 tier, you get them, and if you whatever tier you back us at, you get all content that we've released for that tier. So it's not like you won't only get stuff from the future, you get anything. So yeah, we've done these 2 bonus shows that people are enjoying. We can't wait to do another one next month, and we've also recently released our second TCGS Talks Over, where we talk over the 2013 E3 announcement of the Wii U. And it's a good one.
Which is even worse than you remember.
It really is.
Yeah, it was fascinating recording that.
But yeah, $10 patrons get to watch that a month early before it goes out on YouTube. So think about supporting us there at patreon.com/TCGS.
And that's us.
It is.
That is us.
At some point in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to do another Bell's Kitchen as well.
Oh,
I need to figure that out. Keep an eye on our Twitter account, and we'll announce that at some point.
I'm excited already about that.
I don't know if it's going to be another 2-course one. I think I might have said I'm thinking of doing a brunch one. So it'd be like Sunday morning-ish.
Oh, would you? Okay. So you go change the time depending on the sort of meal.
Well, I think so. Yeah, depending on what I'm making. But I don't know. We'll see.
Lovely stuff.
I think a lot of people enjoyed watching it after the fact anyway. I think most people just like stuck it on YouTube or whatever. So yeah. So maybe the timing doesn't have to be consistent. I don't know.
Maybe.
We'll experiment.
Why not?
But yes, cool. I've enjoyed this. It'd be nice to get back to normal though. E3's been wicked, but
yeah,
cool
I'm
just
glad to get back into that regular swing of things, regular streams, regular pods.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, cool. Thank you for listening, and thanks for the money and the subs and all the rest of it. Gonna go and order some more wires. See you next week. Thanks for letting us be natural. Ta-ra.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.